Chapter 596. You don't have to worry about Grandpa. Actually, I have something else to ask you. This afternoon, I got a piece of news and want to ask second brother for confirmation. Sheng Kai was shocked, but he pretended to be calm. I'm tired. Let's talk at the office tomorrow morning. It's not about work. Sheng Bowen stopped him. Second brother, why are you feeling guilty? Sheng Kai turned around and retorted, Third brother, I know you're the CEO of Huang Yao now. That's great. But now that we're home, shouldn't you give me some basic respect as your second brother? Don't tell me that I need to get your permission to rest? Do you know that the butler committed suicide? Sheng Bowen went straight to the point. He did not want to beat around the bush with Sheng Kai anymore. What? When did it happen? You're so good at pretending. Sheng Bowen sneered. Second brother, how long are you going to pretend in front of the family? Do you really think that no one will know what you've done? I don't understand what you're talking about. What does the butler's suicide have to do with me? Lawyer Song, don't tell me you don't know him? Sheng Bowen asked Sheng Kai directly. What are you trying to say? Sheng Kai asked angrily. That's right. Third brother, what are you accusing second brother of? Sixth brother was also anxious. What does the butler's suicide have to do with second brother? The butler's son was arrested for assault and is now in the detention center. Our good second brother said that he wanted to help the butler, but in fact he wanted to control the butler. The butler did not accept second brother's help, so second brother used his identity to pressure the people in the detention center and not allow other lawyers to take on the butler's son's case. The butler did not want to betray Grandpa, so he chose to commit suicide. Sheng Bowen explained to everyone. You're lying. Keep lying. Sheng Kai said to Sheng Bowen calmly. The butler has taken care of me for so many years. Why would I do this to him? Because Grandpa announced the will in the hospital that day. You're afraid that you won't get a share of the inheritance, so you want to fight for the butler, Sheng Bowen said loudly. Sheng Bowen said loudly. Haven't you noticed it yourself? Is your behavior really abnormal recently? Of course, I don't want my second brother to do this either. Since you don't want to, why are you slandering me? Sheng Kai insisted and refused to admit it. Second brother, if you still have a little conscience, you should kneel in front of the housekeeper and repent. Even now, his life and death are still unknown. It's all because of your selfishness that you don't want to admit it. It doesn't matter. After all, Lawyer Song has already clearly explained this matter and recorded it on his phone. There are traces of you everywhere in the housekeeper's hometown. Don't think that you can hide from everyone. When Sheng Kai heard that, cold sweat broke out on his forehead. But he refused to admit it. You make it sound like you were there. Second brother, did you really do that to the butler? Sixth brother looked at him in disbelief. For Grandpa's inheritance? Since you all believe me, there's nothing I can do. Sheng Kai looked helpless. Obviously he was not convinced. However, he did not know what kind of evidence Sheng Bowen had in his hands. Xiling, let's go back to the room. Wait. Sheng Bowen blocked their way. I'm afraid you won't be able to hide from what happened today. What else do you want? Sheng Kai asked. The butler has taken care of the Sheng family for his whole life and is loyal to Grandpa. But you, for your own selfishness, forced him to this point. It's hard to guarantee that you won't have other ideas for the inheritance in the future. You might even want to kill Grandpa. How can we dare to keep a person like you in the Sheng family? Sheng Bowen said sternly. So, I think it's better for you and second sister-in-law to leave the Sheng family. I will also give you the shares of Huang Yao, Sheng Bowen said seriously. As soon as he said this, the entire family was shocked. Was he trying to kick his own brother out of the family? Sheng Bowen, don't you think too highly of yourself? Sheng Kai laughed. Do you really think that you are the CEO of Huang Yao now and the chairman of Huang Yao in the future? You said that I'm doing this for Grandpa's inheritance. Who can prove it? Don't take a chicken feather as a token of authority and spout nonsense here. But what if I insist that you leave the Sheng family today? Sheng Bowen asked again. Third brother, you are too soft. You are not suitable to be a leader. Don't you know that? Do you know how many employees in the company are dissatisfied with you? If I didn't settle it for you, do you think you have the right to show off in front of me now? You want to kick me out of the Sheng family? Who gave you the right? Let me tell you, Sheng Bowen. I just don't fight for it. If I fight for it, you are no match for me. You are still shamelessly slandering me. Have I not been good enough to Grandpa all this time? Third brother, you better not let Grandpa know about this. Otherwise he will definitely teach you a lesson. Sheng Bowen did not say anything else. He directly played the recording. No, it should be said that it was a video. Third brother, don't go too far. When Sheng Kai saw Lawyer Song's face on the screen, he immediately snatched the phone and smashed it on the ground. The butler has been so good to us. He has taken so much care of us. I really did not expect you to be so cruel. Sheng Kai, who do you think wants to kick you out of the Sheng family tonight? Sheng Bowen looked at the broken phone and questioned Sheng Kai sternly. Isn't it you from the beginning to the end? Or should I say eighth brother? It's me. At this moment, when the two brothers were arguing endlessly, Grandpa Sheng came out of the study. Everyone could not help but shift the timeline. When they saw Grandpa Sheng, they were all shocked. I'm the one who wants to kick you out of the Sheng family. Is this enough? When Sheng Kai saw Grandpa Sheng, he immediately took 2 steps back in disbelief. Grandpa, don't listen to third brother's nonsense. I was the one who asked third brother to confront you, Grandpa Sheng said to Sheng Kai calmly. Grandpa Sheng said to Sheng Kai calmly. I was the one who gave the evidence to third brother. It was my idea to kick you out of the Sheng family. It had nothing to do with him. Grandpa, I am your grandson. How can you do this to me? Then tell me, why did you force the butler? Tell me clearly and I will give you another chance. Sheng Kai choked. It should be said that he could not make up a story at all. Chapter 597. Since you can't give me an answer, I will answer it for you. Because you want my inheritance, the shares of Huang Yao, the position of the chairman, and the supreme glory. So, you did not hesitate to attack the butler to force him to give in. But you did not expect that the butler would be so stubborn. He did not care about your threats at all. He would rather die than betray me and the Sheng family. Second brother, what else do you have to say? Grandpa Sheng looked at Sheng Kai coldly. Sheng Kai could not help but laugh mockingly. It seems that Grandpa is determined to kick me out today. So, you still don't think that you are wrong? I'm wrong? Sheng Kai asked himself. I'm not wrong. You've always been biased. You've never treated us brothers fairly. If you could be fair, I wouldn't be so anxious. You used to love eighth brother and now you love third brother. Have you ever loved me sincerely? Grandpa, all this is because of you. I will not be in your will. I have nothing. How can I be satisfied? Grandpa, I am your grandson. But now I am not even as good as the butler. If you want to kick me out, I can't say no. But I will not be satisfied. I will never be satisfied. Now that things have come to this, it is not important whether you are satisfied or not. Anyway, tomorrow Huang Yao will announce to the public that you will disappear from the Sheng family's genealogy forever. Since I've already gone this far, I'm not afraid of going further. Your shares will be converted into cash as per normal, but you can't take anything else from the Sheng family. Moreover, no matter where you want to develop in Jianchuan, you will be suppressed by Huang Yao and the Sheng family. Until I die, you must carry out this order. Grandpa Sheng said resolutely. When I was sick and hospitalized, you and Gu Xiling had evil intentions. Do you think I did not see it? I've always thought that the most annoying people in this family are the ignorant and incompetent people, such as eldest brother and sixth brother. However, it's only now that I understand what the truly annoying and hateful people are like. You and Gu Xiling make me feel even more hideous than myself. What's wrong with a butler? Although the butler is not related to me by blood, he would rather die than betray me. Can you do that? Sheng Kai, from this moment on you are no longer a Shen. I admit that eighth brother went out of his own will, but you have been driven out of this house by me, and you will never be able to step into it again. After hearing Grandpa Sheng's last words, Sheng Kai took a few steps back. He didn't expect that things would turn out this way and that he would end up like this. Lao Sen, you're really good. I'm surprised. I didn't expect you to use such a vicious method just to take me down and stop threatening your position as CEO. Sheng Bowen frowned and answered Sheng Kai, I don't see you as an opponent. Do you think I will still believe you? It doesn't matter to me whether you believe it or not, Sheng Bowen said. Because my goal is not to deal with you. You don't want to deal with me, but you watch me being driven out of the house. Sheng Bowen, you are such a good brother. Sheng Kai shouted agitatedly. Good Sheng family. Since this place doesn't accept me, I will leave with Xiling. But I won't let it go. You can suppress me or target me, but one day I will tell you who is the real master of this place. Having said that, Sheng Kai took Gu Xiling's hand. Let's go. Gu Xiling looked at Grandpa Sheng with hatred and smiled. Grandpa Sheng, you will die a horrible death. Having said that, they left the house. Grandpa Sheng had said that they were not allowed to take anything away. Seeing this scene, Hu Ran stood by the side and secretly held Sheng Bowen's arm. Those B*****s have finally left this house. Grandpa, I will send you back to the hospital. Sheng Bowen looked down at Grandpa Sheng. Third brother, from now on you have to be careful. Grandpa Sheng patted the back of his hand. I don't want to care about the Sheng family anymore. The seed of Sheng Kai's hatred had been completely planted in the deep pool that was the Sheng family. Don't let him make a comeback. It's all up to you. Grandpa, I understand. Who knew what the future would be like? Help me call eighth brother. I want to see him. Hearing this, Sheng Bowen suddenly felt that the old man in front of him was just putting up a strong front. So, when they returned to the hospital, Sheng Bowen immediately asked the doctor to check on Grandpa Sheng. It's nothing serious. He's just too tired, the doctor answered. Have you settled your family affairs? Sheng Bowen nodded and called Sheng Xiao. Grandpa wants to see you. The butler has woken up, but his head is badly injured. He might have dementia in the future. Grandpa kicked Sheng Kai out of the house, Sheng Bowen said seriously. Eighth brother, I'm really afraid that Grandpa can't take it anymore. He has to. I will bring Cheer here tomorrow morning. After Sheng Kai and Gu Xiling left home, they went to Gu Xiling's mother's house. When Mama Gu heard about Sheng Kai, she felt sorry for her son-in-law. Why is this old thing so muddle-headed? He doesn't protect his grandson but sides with an outsider? Is there something wrong with him? Mom, now that we've been kicked out of the Sheng family, we don't know what to do and we have nowhere to go. You can stay here first. We'll talk about it later. Kai, don't be afraid. Xiling's grandfather knows a lot of people. When the time comes, he can introduce you to them. The Sheng family doesn't want you, but the Gu family hasn't collapsed yet. If they look down on us, they will pay them back 100 times sooner or later. Thank you, Mom. Sheng Kai covered his face with his hand. His expression was very gloomy. Because he thought of something. Xiling, have you ever thought about who gave the evidence to Grandpa? It can't be third brother. Who else could it be? Gu Xiling sneered. Other than your omnipotent eighth brother. In fact, Sheng Kai had the answer in his heart. But it seemed that he could only accept it after hearing Gu Xiling say it. Eighth brother, I will definitely let you taste the taste of failure. Let's not talk so much now. Let's think about what we should do in the future. Hatred was probably the thing that could make a person grow. With this motivation, would Sheng Kai not work hard and improve himself? The only pity was that this man could not give her a child. Late at night, Mu Chichi learned from Sheng Xiao that Sheng Kai had been kicked out of the house. She had to say that it was very satisfying. Because Grandpa Sheng had also been led astray before. But at least he knew to rein in at the last moment. Sheng Kai is so vengeful. Now that he has been kicked out of the Sheng family, I don't know what kind of trouble he will cause. Mu Chichi was worried. Chapter 598. I'm so scared. Mu Chichi glared at him and turned to return to their bedroom. She suddenly remembered that the ring was still in her hands. How could she give it to this man to surprise him? He was really the most cunning old fox. He actually gave her such a difficult problem. However, it seemed that she rarely took the initiative to coax that man. Taking advantage of this opportunity was just right. After Tang Yen became the team leader, he was obviously busier than before. In the past, he was called a workaholic and she could still see him in the middle of the night. But now, Feng Shanshan clearly felt that she was the only one spending the long night alone. It was also impossible for her to devote all her time to the forensics team because she was about to take her exams. Aren't you afraid that you'll suddenly die? You work like this every day and night and you don't even eat breakfast. You don't live long. Feng Shanshan looked at her own information and commented on the man. However, she did not know that after she went out to take out the trash, she did not close the door tightly. When Tang Yen entered the door, he heard her nagging. Feng Shanshan heard movement behind her and turned around curiously. When she saw Tang Yen behind her, she was so scared that she quickly covered her chest. Can you make a sound when you walk? You said I don't have long to live, but you didn't sleep either. Tang Yen entered the living room and started to take off his clothes. Only then did Feng Shanshan notice that there was blood on his body. Did you fight with someone? Mother Xiao bit me. Feng Shanshan asked, do you still have a good piece of land on you? Either you roll down the mountain or you get bitten. Tang Yen did not say anything. He just went to the bathroom half naked. Feng Shanshan gulped. Only then did she realize that she was infatuated again. It was mainly because Tang Yan's body was too attractive. Just his back alone was enough to make a woman's heart itch. After a while, Tang Yen came out of the shower with wet hair and the fragrance of the shower gel. Feng Shanshan leaned against the door of the bathroom and watched the man take out the hairdryer. I'll help you. Tang Yen glanced at the hairdryer and then handed it to Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan took over the heavy responsibility and made Tang Yen lower his head. You always seem to be injured. It's just a minor injury. Feng Shanshan raised her head and tried her best to touch Tang Yan's hair. It was so black and soft. It was so unfair. Has the case been solved? There's still one last thing missing. Tang Yan did not go into detail because he knew that Feng Shanshan was about to take the exam. There was no need to be distracted by this kind of thing. Then, why did you come back? According to your personality, you won't stop until you find evidence. Hearing this question, Tang Yan raised her head and looked at Feng Shanshan. Because I want to sleep with you. Feng Shanshan was stunned. Are you done? Feng Shanshan was about to answer, but Tang Yan had already snatched the hairdryer away. Without waiting for her to speak, Tang Yan carried her by the waist and placed her on the sink in the bathroom. In addition, Feng Shanshan was already wearing a long dress, so it was very convenient for her to do things. So, during the whole process she could not say a word. Her mouth was sealed tightly by Tang Yan. Not only that, if you sleep with a man who has a huge difference in physical strength, you will only be controlled by him in all kinds of ways. There is no chance for you to say no. Just like that, Feng Shanshan was ravaged for the entire night. It was not until early in the morning that Tang Yan let her go. There was only one thought in her mind before she fell asleep. Could it be that she was this man's way of relieving stress? The next morning, when Feng Shanshan woke up from her bed, Tang Yan was no longer at home. This man ran away after sleeping with her. Although the two of them were in a relationship, and she did not expect Tang Yan to care about her, after so many times last night, would it kill him to care about her today and ask if she was feeling unwell? Feng Shanshan forced herself to get up. When she walked out of the house, she saw Tang Yan leaning against the car door. He had not left yet. Get in the car. I don't want you to send me off, Feng Shanshan said angrily. I was too ruthless last night. I couldn't control myself. After saying that, Tang Yan opened the car door for Feng Shanshan to enter. When I wasn't around or when I didn't mention this matter, who did you look for when you had such a big need? I haven't touched another woman since I took office, Tang Yan answered as he drove. When did you take office? Don't tell me it was last month. 2 or 3 years, Tang Yan replied. After hearing this answer, Feng Shanshan was satisfied. She closed her eyes and rested in the car. However, when they were about to reach the school gate, Feng Shanshan saw that there were more people, so she said to Tang Yan, "Leave me here. I don't want to cause any criticism." Tang Yan did not listen to her and sent her to the school gate. Many people in the school saw it, but Feng Shanshan had to get out of the car. You win. Feng Shanshan pretended not to see anything under everyone's surprised gazes and went straight to her faculty. However, the rumors had spread just like that. Who was the man who sent Feng Shanshan just now? Has Feng Shanshan's taste changed? This man is really attractive. His cross-country riding and his tall figure are too tempting. He's a walking hormone. This time he's much better than the weakling last time. One look and you can tell that he's strong in that aspect. Feng Shanshan is dating again. Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes when she heard this. Dating my ass. Tang Yan was a stinky man who did not know how to be gentle with women. Whoever got involved with him would be unlucky. Fortunately, Mu Chichi was not there. Otherwise, if Mu Chichi knew that Tang Yan sent her to school, she would definitely say that she was a virgin. In fact, Mu Chichi and Xing Xiao had just arrived at the hospital. After Grandpa Xing returned to the hospital yesterday, he had been in a deep sleep. Until now he had not woken up. The doctor said that this was normal. He was stimulated when he went home yesterday and his brain did not get any rest. Seeing Grandpa Xing lying on the bed, Mu Chichi sighed. He wants to see you and sleep. How can there be such a good thing? Xing Xiao held Mu Chichi's little fist and rubbed it gently. If you're in a hurry, go to Xing Ting first. No need, Mu Chichi replied. Since I'm already here, I have to say a few words. The old man has finally done something right. I have to praise him face to face. You naughty girl, you're still so annoying, Grandpa Xing said to Mu Chichi when he woke up. You don't want to see me? Then I'll leave. Chichi. Grandpa Xing called out to Mu Chichi. Take good care of 8th brother. I know that in this world, only you can make 8th brother willing to do anything for you, even if it's his life. But he's my baby. You have to cherish him. What's your baby about him? He's my baby. Mu Chichi sat beside the old man's bed and answered. Chapter 599. Mu Chichi had the feeling that the old man was saying his last words. You have to be healthy for at least 2 years if you want to wait for our little carrot. Otherwise, why would I show you? Mu Chichi pretended to be Tsundra. Old Xing smiled and raised his hand with difficulty. Go. I know you have to go to class. Mu Chichi looked up at Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao winked at her. Then I'm leaving. You stay with him. Xing Xiao nodded and stroked his little one's hair before letting her go. Seeing that they were still so affectionate, old Xing took the initiative to admit his mistake. When you first fell in love with this girl, I thought you were just fooling around. After all, you are not serious about anything and have never put your heart into any woman. But later on, you actually abandoned your family for the sake of a little girl. Only then did I know that the Sheng family could have such an affectionate child. You are not like anyone and it makes me feel defeated. I really wanted to train you but I failed in the end. You are my most beloved grandson. Even if I used to hate you, it doesn't change the fact that you are the person I want to be close to the most. Eighth brother, promise me one last thing. Xing Xiao held the old man's hand at that. If you can get through it, I will come to accompany you often. If you can't, I will hate you directly. At that, Grandpa Xing said weakly, Doctor. Call the doctor. Xing Xiao got up and was about to move when the door suddenly opened. Mu Qiqi was standing at the door with the doctor. Why are you back? I felt that something was wrong with Grandpa's words. I was worried, so I called the doctor to make sure he is fine before leaving. Chief Xing, please wait outside. The doctor quickly responded. Xing Xiao nodded and went outside with Xiao Qi. Mu Qiqi saw that Xing Xiao did not say a word and knew that the man was very concerned and worried. Don't worry. It's fine. Although I don't like him, he has to be alive to continue making me hate him. Still saying one thing and meaning another. Mu Qiqi did not expose him. She simply held his hand and waited with her man. About 10 minutes later, the doctor came out and said to the two of them, Fortunately, you found it early. It's not a big deal. But remember, you can't be agitated anymore. You must rest in the hospital. It was only because the old man heard what Xing Xiao said that his desire to live was so strong. Mu Qiqi breathed a sigh of relief and said, I can go to school without worry. Xing Xiao put his arms around Mu Qiqi's waist and kissed her on the forehead. Go. Since you're so sensible, I'll reward you tonight. Mu Qiqi smiled and left the hospital with a peace of mind. When Xing Xiao returned to the ward and saw the old man leaning against the bed, he slowly accepted that the old man was no longer the old man who could fight 300 rounds with him. I got my life back. A doctor brought by Qi'er, said Xing Xiao. That girl is a blessed person. A grandson who left the Sheng family is still a grandson. I will attend the state banquet on New Year's Eve. Is it not worth being happy and proud that I have a new way out? After hearing Xing Xiao's words, the old man looked at him in shock. Of course it's worth it. Then live well. Only then will you be able to see more. Having said that, Xing Xiao turned and left the hospital. Su Che had already arranged for the butler to be transferred to Jianchuan. It would be best if the old man could see it. Huang Yao then made an announcement to the public that Sheng Kai would be kicked out of the company. He was the second crown prince of Huang Yao, but now he had ended up like this. It was really sad. Of course, the Sheng family could not announce Sheng Kai's evil deeds to the public. Even if there were many speculations, Huang Yao did not give any response. Now the burden of Huang Yao completely fell on Sheng Bowen's shoulders. But he was loyal and righteous. Could he really do well in the business world? When Mu Qiqi arrived at school, it was already the second class in the morning. Seeing her late, Feng Shanshan could not help but ask, It seems that you really don't want to compete with me. How can you just skip such an important class? For me, there is something more important than this. Mu Qiqi put down her bag and said, I can't afford to offend the son of a high-ranking official. What do you think I should do? I heard a lot about you on the way here. What? Did Officer Tang send you to school early? I fell down yesterday. I begged him for a long time before he was willing to help me. And you still want to poke at me? Feng Shanshan said angrily. With his EQ, do you think he would take the initiative to do such a thing? You live next door. Maybe you have already made some progress, but you don't want to tell me? Feng Shanshan looked at Mu Qiqi strangely. How could she say that she did not have a sharp eye? It's not what you think, Feng Shanshan said angrily. After Mu Qiqi heard this, she smiled and did not continue asking. Feng Shanshan was a stubborn person. Even if you wanted to ask her, you would not be able to get any results unless you could find evidence against her. How is the case now? You have missed too many details. I have no desire to tell you at all. Feng Shanshan blinked proudly. You can go and see for yourself tonight. Mu Qiqi nodded. After school they went to the police station together. At this time, the professor was holding a sharp knife and was extracting fingerprints and DNA. Have you found the murder weapon? Is Xiao Yu's mother the murderer? She hoped that it was her, but she was covering up for her lover, the professor answered Feng Shanshan. Isn't she devoted to Buddhism? That's why people are so strange. She was unwilling to be lonely, so she found a lover, but she opposed her daughter and Qin Xiao being together. On the night of the quarrel, Xiao Yu saw her and her lover having an affair. After that, Xiao Yu went to Qin Xiao and wanted to expose this matter. In order to keep her daughter forever, she worked with her lover to knock out her daughter and Qin Xiao. Then they tattooed and dismembered their bodies. Then they dumped the bodies. What about the cellar and the temple on the mountain? The cellar was the first place where the bodies were dismembered. As for the temple, it was built by Mrs. Zhao's lover. They became friends because of Buddhism. They had their rendezvous there because it was hidden enough. As for the murals in the temple, Mrs. Zhao painted them to curse her ex-husband. Chapter 600. The case is solved. It will be easier for that kid to lead the team. I can rest assured now. The professor put down the weapon in his hand and heaved a sigh of relief. Feng Shanshan suddenly understood why Tang Yen had been working day and night these past few days. It turned out that he was trying to build up his prestige in the team. Officer Tang has always been very capable. Mu Qiqi smiled. Whether it was leading the team, investigating the case, or his attentiveness and strength, Tang Yan's performance during this period of time was very trustworthy. Captain Tang is treating everyone to a drink tonight, the team analyst shouted happily. You two are going too? The professor raised his eyebrows at them. You don't want to drink. Just eat something. Consider it giving him face. Of course, why not? Feng Shanshan said. She had been tortured last night. Of course, she wanted to have a good meal with that person. Just take it as wishing you all a smooth exam in advance. Don't fail. Soon the group set off for the hotel. The forensics team sat together while the rest of the team sat at another table. They were all men, so they might not think highly of a woman's alcohol tolerance. Captain Tang, welcome to the criminal investigation team. Everyone, let's have a toast. Seeing this, Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. If I had known, I would have gone back to sleep. Mu Qiqi also said, I've already called Xiao Xiao. The family car will be here soon. If you leave, what about me? Feng Shanshan pointed at her own nose and asked, Don't you live next door to Captain Tang? I'm looking for him. With that, Mu Qiqi smiled, revealing her dimples. Feng Shanshan was stunned. She turned around and looked at the next table. Tang Yen was drinking, but he did not show any signs of being drunk. No one could tell how high his alcohol tolerance was. Captain Tang, you really don't have a girlfriend. Don't tell me you have a mistress and didn't let us know? The team members started to jeer. That's right. Captain Tang, if you really don't have one, we can introduce her to you. I know many beautiful women around me. How can a man not have a woman around him? Don't you think so? My current interest is investigating cases. Tang Yen answered them without a trace. Tang Yen answered them without a trace. So, all of you better put away your petty thoughts. TSK. Captain Tang, are you that? Everyone looked at him in confusion and shock. Could it be that Captain Tang, who was not close to women, was gay? Hearing this, Feng Shanshan could not help but sneer. If he was gay, there would be no man in the world. After all, he had worked so hard last night. No, Tang Yen answered straightforwardly. That's good. You scared us to death. Soon, Mu Qiqi's family drove the car to the entrance of the hotel, and Mu Qiqi quickly said goodbye to everyone. She was going home to rest. Feng Shanshan was the only woman left at the banquet. I'm going home too. Feng Shanshan really couldn't stand staying with a group of men, so she said to the professor. The professor glanced at Tang Yen and found that he was indifferent. He gave up and said to her, Be careful on the road. I understand. Feng Shanshan got up from her seat. She didn't say anything to Tang Yen and went out to hail a taxi. However, when she got home, she realized that the keys were with Tang Yen today. If only he had known, he wouldn't have tried to act tough. Now that he was in a world of ice and snow, he could only wait outside the door. It was not Captain Tang's fault. After all, she was the one who said that she didn't have the keys. However, it was winter, the coldest season. Feng Shanshan waited outside the door for half an hour and couldn't stand it anymore. She could only call Tang Yen. Can't you come back soon? The keys are with you. Okay. Tang Yen nodded. I'm so cold. I'm driving. Tang Yen hung up after saying that. Driving? Didn't he drink? Thinking of this, Feng Shanshan was worried until she saw Tang Yan's off-road vehicle appear in front of her. When she saw Tang Yen get out of the car, she said, You're a law enforcement officer. How dare you drink and drive? Who told you that I drank? Tang Yen asked in return. Just now, I drank plain water, Tang Yen replied. Don't run away by yourself next time. I asked you to make the keys but you're too lazy to do it. Who am I to you? Do I have to have the keys to your house? Feng Shanshan snorted. You're really not likable at all. Other than being strong in bed, I wonder if your ex is blind. She's not blind. She's just dead. Hearing the word dead, Feng Shanshan was stunned. Was Tang Yin going to tell her story? However, before Feng Shanshan could react, Tang Yin went to take his luggage and went out. I'm going to leave for a few days. You take the exam by yourself. Where are you going? There's a case that they asked me to investigate together. I'm going to help them now, Tang Yin replied. Are you the only one in the team going? Only me. Tang Yin did not say how dangerous this matter was, nor did he say anything else. Anyway, Feng Shanshan felt that this man had nothing to do with her, so she did not ask too much. What did it have to do with her? However, after Tang Yin drove away, Feng Shanshan thought to herself, was that man so fierce last night because he knew that he was going to leave today? Thinking of this possibility, Feng Shanshan's face turned red. Late at night, Banyan Courtyard. After Papa Sheng and Mama Sheng heard about Old Master Sheng, they sighed deeply, especially Mama Sheng. Although she used to hate Old Master Sheng, after knowing that he had gone through so many twists and turns, she finally calmed down. He deserved it after suffering so much. I just didn't hear from you that Sheng Kai has become like that. It's really sad. Now, only third brother is supporting the family. It's hard on him. Papa Sheng sighed. Dad, do you want to go back? Of course not. I prefer my current job. I live for myself. Papa Sheng quickly waved his hand. I just think that third brother is soft and second brother is strong. One day he will stir up trouble again. Even you can see it. How can I not see it? Mama Sheng chuckled. All right, let's rest. Don't delay the couple. Mama Sheng patted Papa Sheng's shoulder. For so long, perhaps because she was afraid of seeing some inappropriate scenes, Mama Sheng rarely walked outside after she returned to her room. Because she knew her son's personality. He wanted to hug and kiss for no reason. Mom, you're quite self-aware. Isn't it because you always have no scruples in front of me? Mu Chichi glared at him. Sheng Xiao grabbed Mu Chichi and sat on his lap. I told you in the morning that there will be a reward when we go home tonight. I don't want your reward. This is a reward for yourself. Mu Chichi snorted. Chapter 601. Are you serious? Mu Chichi saw that he had loosened the buttons on his shirt and quickly became defensive. There are other people at home. If you are talking about Dad and Mom, they won't come out. Who? Before she could finish her sentence, Mu Chichi was completely sealed by a kiss. When the man's beautiful chest muscles were exposed, she immediately surrendered. Who could be immune to a beautiful body? Especially Mu Chichi. She fell for Xing Zhao's trick. But during the process, Mu Chichi still felt very embarrassed, so she did not let the man take off her clothes. The two of them also suppressed their voices and could only grit their teeth and endure the whole time. But the more they did this, the more excited Mu Chichi felt. When they were done, she leaned into Xing Zhao's arms and sighed. I can't look at this sofa directly in the future. I'll get a new one tomorrow. I'll let you experience it differently every time. Mu Chichi said, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm going back to my room to take a shower. Xing Xiao smiled. He was still as dangerous and evil as before. He was only a man in his 30s, but now he was more mature and reserved. Mu Chichi was about to move when Xing Xiao carried her. Let's continue in the room. It's good that the old man can be healthy, right? Who cares about him? Mu Chichi hugged Xing Zhao's neck. This man was still so awkward and duplicitous. The old man went to the gates of hell again in the morning. But fortunately he came back. However, when he thought of how every time he was seriously ill, Xing Xiao was always by his side. Even the little girl he hated the most, Mu Chichi, was also running around for his sake. He felt that he had really let down the Shen family, especially Grandpa Shen. Perhaps he had really died several times, so he had a new understanding of life. In the past he was too obsessed with power. Now that he thought about it, it was still the happiest thing to have children and grandchildren around him. Another thing that touched Grandpa Shen was that Xing Xiao had also transferred the butler to this hospital. When he was free he could visit his old friend. Now he completely handed over the matters of Huang Yao to Xing Bowen. Although third brother did not seem to be a good businessman who knew the future. In Huang Yao's office, Xing Bowen was thinking about cashing out Sheng Kai's shares. But Sheng Kai was a major shareholder after all. His private assets could not take away Sheng Kai's shares. President, I think you can call the chairman, the secretary suggested. It's a good thing that the shares have returned to the chairman. It's not up to us to decide who will take over. It still depends on Xing Kai's plans. After all, the shares are his. With all due respect, he might retaliate, the secretary reminded Xing Bowen. I'll call someone first, Xing Bowen said. Although he did not want to see Xing Kai again, the matter of the shares had to be settled. At this moment, Xing Kai was still calming down in the Gu family. He had nothing left except for the shares of Huang Yao. At noon, Xing Bowen called to ask about the shares and wanted to know what his plans were. In that instant, Xing Kai only had the most vicious thought in his mind. He was rehearsing how he would take revenge on the Xing family 1,000,000 times. Thinking that he must become the owner of that place in the future, Xing Kai answered Xing Bowen directly, I want to retain my shareholders' rights and interests. I don't need to cash out. Is it interesting? Xing Bowen asked Xing Kai. It's not up to you to decide whether it's interesting or not. President Xing, this matter is not over yet. After that, Xing Kai hung up. At this time, Gu Xiling walked behind Xing Kai and said, in 2 days, Grandpa will bring you to meet some people. Kai, we can still make a comeback. Xing Kai turned around and held Gu Xiling's hand. At this time, only you will still be by my side and never leave me. So, you have to prove to me that I, Gu Xiling, did not marry the wrong man. We will settle the score with the Xing family slowly. Hatred was the best way to make people grow. Xing Kai saw the gap between him and Xing Xiao. But one day he would let Xing Xiao know how he had walked step by step towards success. Tang Yin left for 4 whole days. There was no phone call or message from him. There was no news at all. Feng Shanshan went to class and took her exams. After class she went home. After Xiao Yu's dismemberment case, she did not go to the forensics laboratory again. Her wish to surpass Mu Qiqi in the exams was real. Although she did not think that Mu Qiqi would try her best, she even suspected that Mu Qiqi purposely stayed behind her every time she took the exams. She wanted to keep a low profile and not stand out. This was a kind of ability. On the day of the exams, her classmates suggested going out for a gathering. In fact, there was only half a year left in the second year. Mu Qiqi did not know any other classmates except for Feng Shanshan. Of course, although Feng Shanshan knew them, their relationship was not good. Actually, everyone was curious why Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan, who were enemies, got along so well. They used to be enemies. Are you going? Feng Shanshan asked Mu Qiqi. The night is long. I have to go out to spend some time. It's a long night for you. I have people waiting for me at home. Mu Qiqi did not hesitate to attack Feng Shanshan. What? Is Officer Tang not home? I don't know where he went. Feng Shanshan shrugged. Can't you restrain yourself from being so heartless? Do you want to die by calling someone? Someone had to pick up the call. Alright, have fun tonight. I'm going home. There was nothing else in Mu Qiqi's mind except for Xing Xiao. Then, when Mu Qiqi was about to get up, she received a call from the professor. She thought that there was another murder case, but the professor called to ask about Feng Shanshan's whereabouts. Because Feng Shanshan's phone could not be reached. Feng Shanshan thought for a while and picked up the call. Tang Yin said that the key is with you, so I called you. Did I disturb you? Feng Shanshan was speechless. Was it really good to let the professor know about this? Professor, Officer Tang and I are neighbors. I know. He told me. I'm going to his house to pack some clothes for him. I wonder if it's convenient for you to give me the key. What happened to him? He was shot by a gunman and injured on his left shoulder. He's in the hospital now, explained the professor. Feng Shanshan was dumbfounded when she heard that. Shanshan? I'll go get it. I'll go. Tell me which hospital he's in. Feng Shanshan took the initiative to take the task. That's even better. It saves me the trouble of making another trip. Then the professor told her the address of the hospital Tang Yen was in. Feng Shanshan hung up and quickly chased after Mu Qiqi. Send me home? It's urgent. Chapter 602. When they arrived at Feng Shanshan and Tang Yan's courtyard, Feng Shanshan rushed out of the car. Seeing that they were so anxious, Su Che said to Mu Qiqi, "We have to wait, right?" Mu Qiqi immediately laughed. "Su Che, you really understand me more and more. Who else could make Feng Shanshan so anxious?" She seemed to be carefree all day long, but her actions at this moment had completely exposed her inner thoughts. In less than 10 minutes, Feng Shanshan packed a bag of things and walked out of Tang Yan's house. She found Mu Qiqi's car was still parked outside. "Where? Give you a ride?" Feng Shanshan gritted her teeth. This person was definitely doing it on purpose. It's rush hour right now. By the time you get a cab, it'll be half an hour later. Can you endure such torture? If Tang Yin had not driven the car out, she would not have to ask Mu Qiqi for help. Unable to overcome her worries, Feng Shanshan carried her backpack and got into Mu Qiqi's car. You're collecting things that belong to men. To be precise, the place you just entered is a man's home. You already know the answer. Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes at her. Don't you have the keys to Officer Tang's house? What are you talking about? He's injured and still lying in the hospital. Can't you hurry up? Feng Shanshan was furious. Mu Qiqi smiled when she heard that. You should have been so straightforward earlier. We're almost at the entrance of the hospital. Su Che's driving skills were not just for show. He was very fierce. Mu Qiqi had seen it once. Was today the second time? When they arrived at the hospital, Feng Shanshan immediately jumped out of the car and went straight to the inpatient department. Wait for me for a while. After all, Officer Tang is someone I know. I'll go and visit him, Mu Qiqi said to Su Che. Then she got out of the car and chased after Feng Shanshan. When she arrived at the door of the ward, there was no one else. Feng Shanshan calmed down for a moment before knocking on the door. Soon Tang Yan's deep voice came from the room. Please come in. Feng Shanshan pushed the door open and entered. Her heart sank when she saw Tang Yan's entire upper body wrapped in gauze. Tang Yan did not expect Feng Shanshan to come. He was stunned for a second and said to her, "Have a seat. I brought you some clothes and toiletries." "No, I won't be staying here for long," Tang Yan replied calmly. "I don't think I need these." "Where's the professor?" Feng Shanshan asked when she saw Tang Yan standing there alone. "I told him to go back. He keeps nagging at me. It's very annoying." "So, no one took care of you?" Tang Yan understood the meaning behind her words and said, "I'm used to it." What she means is that she can stay. I'm afraid Officer Tang didn't understand what she meant. At this moment, Mu Qiqi rushed into the ward and smiled at the two of them. "You're here too." A certain someone hurried home to pack your things and rushed over. "That's why I followed." Mu Qiqi smiled. "Are you going to die if you don't say anything?" Feng Shanshan was a little embarrassed. The two of them were just bedmates. She should not have crossed the line. However, she heard that he was injured and knew that he had no relatives. That was why she had possessed the Mary Sue. But now she felt that he did not need it. "I've sent the things to you. You should rest well. I'll take your car back." After Feng Shanshan said that to Tang Yin, she gritted her teeth and said to Mu Qiqi, "It doesn't matter." Mu Qiqi shrugged. Tang Yin glanced at Feng Shanshan subconsciously. He did not say anything and did not ask her to stay. When the two of them were about to leave, Tang Yin texted Feng Shanshan. "I'm hungry." When Feng Shanshan saw the text, she actually laughed. But Mu Qiqi did not see it for a moment. "Send me to the class reunion," Feng Shanshan said to Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi looked at Feng Shanshan suspiciously. She felt that she was suspicious. "Actually, you're with Officer Tang, right?" Feng Shanshan was speechless. "Although the two of you acted as if there was nothing going on, I could smell the same scent coming from the two of you. There was also a very strong adultery. You can tell. Why are you still playing with me?" Feng Shanshan glared at Mu Qiqi. "You're so free. How far have you progressed?" "Far from you and your Xingdasiyo. We're just enemies. Let's not talk about feelings. Are you satisfied with the answer? Can you let me get out of the car now?" Feng Shanshan was about to push the door open. However, Mu Qiqi still said something. "You're alone and he's also alone. If the two of you are together, be good companions. After all, he's in a high-risk job. He might lose his life on the front line one day. If you really want to have a result, don't waste too much time. Otherwise, it'll be too late for regrets. Love doesn't wait for anyone. You're always preaching. It's really annoying." Of course, Feng Shanshan was just saying it. With Mu Qiqi to control her, she felt that she had one more sister. Mu Qiqi smiled and did not continue. "Aren't you leaving? I'm going home too, okay?" After all, she had not thought of a way to give away her ring. Feng Shanshan got out of the car and closed the door. Then she quickly ran back to the hospital. Standing at the door of the ward, she bent down and asked Tang Yin, "What do you want to eat?" Tang Yin looked at her calmly. After a long while, he said, "You." This time, the joint investigation was related to drugs. Those gangsters were outlaws and they were armed. He was shot in the shoulder while trying to save a pregnant woman. Blood splashed on his face. He had fought with death so many times, but he had never been afraid. Anyway, he was alone. Saving one was one. Even if he had to sacrifice himself, it was not a loss. However, at that moment, his mind thought of Feng Shanshan's face. This bad woman not only did all kinds of bad things but she also stole his heart. When Feng Shanshan heard that, she looked at Tang Yin and Tang Yin looked back at her. Their eyes met. In fact, they knew very well that once they were involved in something, they could not let it go. When Mu Qiqi returned home, Xing Xiao was taking a shower. Seeing that perfect figure in front of her, Mu Qiqi tried hard to control herself. Su Che took you for a ride. It was quite fun, huh? Hearing that magnetic voice, Mu Qiqi felt her whole body go numb. She instantly jumped onto Xing Xiao. I'm happy for Feng Shanshan. Are you happy when your enemy is happy? Xing Xiao held her little butt and shook his head helplessly. Some people seem to be enemies. Mu Qiqi hugged Xing Xiao's neck. Officer Tang is a hero, right? Feng Shanshan is also half a beauty, so we're a good match. Then what am I in your heart? Xing Xiao could not help but tease the little one. Mu Qiqi thought for a moment and answered seriously, Glory. Chapter 603. Mu Qiqi hung on Xing Xiao's body and said, Help me take it off. In Xing Xiao's eyes, Mu Qiqi was a completely spoiled little thing. However, she would only show such a naive look in front of Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao was willing to dote on her. After the shower, he said to the little thing, I'll be home late these days. You're on holiday. Be more obedient at home, okay? What happened to Zhongting? I met some malicious competitors, but it's not a big deal, Xing Xiao replied. I've never failed in the business world. This was the confidence that Xing Xiao should have. Mu Qiqi kissed him on the cheek and said, Then don't throw Su Che at me. I'll go to the police station and think of a way myself. I'll only be at ease if Su Che follows you. Suspecting your man, huh? I've never doubted you. I trust you more than anyone else. However, worrying is another matter. I can't control it. Xing Xiao carried Mu Qiqi and brought her out of the bathroom. Did you put honey on your mouth? However, what Mu Qiqi did not know was that Xing Xiao was not dealing with some rich second-generation tycoon. Every one of his opponents now had an unimaginable background. The hospital was especially quiet late at night. The professor was supposed to come, but Tang Yin refused to see him. If he came, he would not be able to rest well. Tang Yin only knew that he had a nurse to take care of him. It was more useful than being an uncle in the hospital. The professor thought about it and felt that what Tang Yin said made sense, so he did not disturb him and let him rest well. Feng Shanshan looked at the man lying on the bed and thought, this man is full of merits. Feng Shanshan was lying by the bed. When Tang Yin woke up and saw this woman, he felt at ease for no reason. He was used to being alone for half his life. He had never thought that there would be someone who would make him so worried. Feng Shanshan felt that someone was watching her, so she propped herself up and looked at Tang Yin. Where does it hurt? Tang Yin shook his head and said, the moment the bullet pierced my shoulder, I only thought of one thing. What? It would be great if I could sleep with you again. Feng Shanshan was speechless. In the future, if anyone said that this man had no EQ, she would be angry with them. This man was so good at flirting. When you're better. You can't sleep here. You should go back. Tang Yin looked at Feng Shanshan and said seriously, I don't need you to stay by my side. Do you think I want to? Where do you expect me to get a taxi in the middle of the night? Are you sure you want me to go back alone? Feng Shanshan was angry for no reason. This man had just messed you up, and now he was pouring a bucket of cold water on you. Is it because you can't go or do you not want to go? Is there a difference? Feng Shanshan asked. Tang Yin was stunned and did not speak for a long time. After a long time, he moved half of his bed and said, Come up. Feng Shanshan looked at the wounds on his body and really did not dare to lie with him. As usual, I'll sleep on the sofa. You don't have to worry about me. This girl had a stubborn temper and she would explode at the slightest touch. In the past, she used to go out and fool around and she even had a rich second-generation boyfriend. In fact, she even had an abortion. She had done something that most girls did not dare to try. She should be the object of men's play, and they would definitely avoid her when they got married. However, for some reason, the more Feng Shanshan was like this, the more Tang Yin wanted to hold her in his palm, hurt her, and *ck her hard. However, the more he thought about it, the more he could not force Feng Shanshan, because once she found out about his feelings, she might run away without a care. Tang Yin looked at Feng Shanshan lying on the sofa and curled up into a ball. He did not force her, but looked at her naughty face for a long time. She really needed to be taught a lesson. The next day, the first day of the holiday. Mu Qiqi just wanted to know what was going on in the hospital, so she went to the hospital early in the morning and bought breakfast for the two of them. When Feng Shanshan saw her in the ward, she had just woken up from the sofa. My Mrs. Sheng, it's only 7 o'clock in the morning. Aren't you here too early? I'm afraid that you'll be hungry. Aren't you grateful? Mu Chichi winked at her. Anyway, there are no cases at the station now and we're on vacation. Isn't it good for me to come and see you earlier? You're here to see me make a fool of myself, aren't you? Feng Shanshan combed her hair with her hand. At the side, Tang Yin sat on the hospital bed and looked at the two of them. Go back. Uncle will come later. So, you were here last night? Mu Chichi smiled. Look at you. You don't look like someone who can keep watch at night. You don't know how to take care of people at all. You know. After saying that, Feng Shanshan went to the bathroom to wash her face. Then I'm really leaving. Okay. Tang Yin nodded lightly. Looking at the two of them as if nothing had happened, Mu Chichi suddenly became curious. So, when she left the hospital with Feng Shanshan, Mu Chichi asked, Now, no matter how I look at Captain Tang, I don't think he's a good man. At the mention of this, Feng Shanshan was angry. He's a beast, a naked beast. Tell me about it. At the mention of this, Feng Shanshan was a little discouraged. Although she knew that she couldn't pursue a person's past, when she thought of how many girlfriends Tang Yin had in the past, she felt her chest tighten and very uncomfortable. He's always been an expert in love. The number of women he's slept with can't even be counted with 10 fingers. What else do you want me to say? Mu Chichi said, I really can't tell. He's a dangerous person. After saying this, Feng Shanshan nestled in the car to rest. However, the two of them were still halfway when they received a call from the branch office. The two of you are free now. Hurry up and come to the branch office to help. There's a new case. But now that Tang Yin was injured, who would lead the team? Mu Chichi glanced at Feng Shanshan and pressed the dark circles on her face. Go back to sleep. I'll go over. No need. I'm very energetic now. She was very energetic because of that man. Mu Chichi thought to herself. She had thought that Tang Yin was at a disadvantage when Feng Shanshan and Tang Yin were together because he looked upright and loyal. Who knew that he was also a Casanova? Now Mu Chichi didn't know which one of them was more absurd. The two of them immediately rushed to the police station. At this time, Tang Yin was actually there. After receiving the news, he immediately rushed over. However, she saw that he was wearing a thick trench coat, so no one could tell that he was injured at all. Although his face was not good, he was full of energy. Did this person not want to live? Feng Shanshan was resentful and angry, but she didn't know how to vent it because she and Tang Yin had nothing to do with each other. Chapter 604. Let's go to the crime scene first, Tang Yin ordered the team. We'll tell you how the body was found on the way. Captain Tang, the murder happened in the Yi family's factory. Which Yi family? Tang Yin frowned. Yi Xingtian, the Yi family. Mu Chichi was stunned when she heard that. Yi Xingtian used to be Papa Mu's good friend. She still remembered that every time he visited the Mu family, he would bring his son Yi Jingqing. Yi Jingqing liked Mu Tongxue a lot. Are these recent murders all targeting rich families? The team members couldn't help but complain. Cut the crap. Let's get to work, Tang Yin said coldly. Feng Shanshan did not know if he really regarded investigating the case as more important than his life, or if he was just putting on a show. Was his body really not that important to him? Feng Shanshan was a little annoyed, but she did not show it on her face. Mu Chichi, on the other hand, had a complicated look in her eyes. Feng Shanshan did not want to focus on Tang Yin anymore, so she asked Mu Chichi, what expression? I don't know, Mu Chichi explained. It's just that the Yi family started their business in the fashion industry and had a good relationship with the Mu family. I often met them when I was young. So she's your old acquaintance. Speaking of the Mu family, did you really leave your sister in the slums? Feng Shanshan's gossipy heart was ignited. What else can I do? I can't kill her, Mu Chichi replied. All in all, your life is full of drama. It's just that you haven't seen her for a year and a half. Don't you want to know how she is now? Mu Chichi shook her head. Mu Tongshue's incident was a long time ago. She did not want to recall it. But someone insisted on helping her recall it. When they arrived at the Yi family's factory, the police had already cordoned off the area where the body was found. At this time, the young master of the Yi family walked to Mu Chichi and said, Chichi, it's been a while. Mu Chichi looked up and saw a man with a sunny face. She said, Brother Jingqing? It's me. I just came back. I didn't expect you to be a forensic doctor. That man was about 24 or 25 years old. He was dressed very meticulously. It could be seen that he was a very tasteful person. His face was also very handsome. He was wearing a black sweater and a beige retro trench coat. He looked like a gentleman and noble. It's just a joke, Mu Chichi answered casually. We haven't seen each other for many years. It's been 4 years. I've been away from Jianchuan for 4 years. It's only when I came back that I found out that the Mu clan has undergone such a huge change. Even Tangxue has disappeared. Young Master Yi, I'm sorry to interrupt your reunion. But I still want to ask you about the specific situation. Tang Yin walked up to them and said to Yi Jingqing. No problem. Chichi, let's talk another day. I'll call you and treat you to a meal. Feng Shanshan watched the Yi family leave with Tang Yin. She turned to Mu Chichi and asked, Are you sure you want to have dinner with him? Mu Chichi shook her head. He has always liked Mu Tangxue. He bullied me a lot because of her. He was just being polite. The Yi family is weird, Feng Shanshan said. Feng Shanshan said. Also, you better not tell your CEO Sheng about this. Otherwise, I think he will definitely get jealous. I got goosebumps when you called him Jingqing, just now. You're exaggerating. Let's go and check the body. The body was just downstairs of the staff dormitory. And judging from the appearance of the body, it was consistent with the characteristics of a fall. It seemed that it was not a complicated case. Therefore, the people in the team quickly packed up. A case like this should be reported to the police in the district. Why did you report it to the criminal investigation team? The police in the team complained again. It was mainly because the case looked simple. Whether it's the criminal investigation team or the ordinary criminal police, it's our fault for failing to protect the people. After saying that, Tang Yin got into his off-road vehicle. But only Feng Shanshan noticed that there was blood seeping out of his coat. Mu Chichi was about to get into the police car, but Yi Jingqing stopped her. Chichi, I really want to know where Tangxue is. If you have any news about her, remember to tell me. Mu Chichi smiled and did not say anything. Since he knew that she and the Mu family were in such a mess, he should know that there was no connection between her and Mu Tangxue. But the point was, why did he ask her when he knew that Mu Tangxue lived in the slums? Was there a deeper meaning behind it? Feng Shanshan saw that she was full of thoughts, so she leaned on her arm. What are you thinking about? You look so focused. I heard a senior say that the people from the Yi family bypassed the police in the district and reported the case to the criminal investigation team. What? Did you find anything? Mu Chichi shook her head. She felt that this matter was directed at her. But she could not say such a narcissistic thought out loud. Yi Jingqing had a good relationship with Mu Tangxue since they were young. Now that Mu Tangxue was being tortured by her, she did not believe that Yi Jingqing knew nothing about it. What are you thinking about? You look so focused. I'm thinking that you should control Officer Tang. Didn't he just get shot in the shoulder? Mu Chichi put aside her doubts for the time being and did not continue to suspect Yi Jingqing. Do you think he will listen to me? Feng Shanshan said impatiently. There is no one in his heart, only the case. So, why should she take care of someone who was alive and kicking? She was just asking for trouble. Because of that, Feng Shanshan went straight to the forensics laboratory when she arrived at the entrance of the police station. Although the body was almost certain to have fallen to death, whether it was a suicide or a homicide still needed to be investigated. Tang Yin saw Feng Shanshan going to the autopsy room. At that time their eyes met, but Feng Shanshan's eyes were cold. She did not care about Tang Yin at all. Mu Chichi, on the other hand, kept the Yi family's matter in her heart. She had said that she would not allow anything that could threaten her safety to exist. Protecting her was equivalent to protecting Xing Xiao. Yi Jingqing clearly wanted to remind her that Mu Tangxue still existed in this world. Was he fighting for justice for Mu Tangxue? In the afternoon, Mu Chichi went to Zhongting with a lot on her mind. When the secretary saw her deep in thought, she opened the door of Xing Xiao's office for her. Xiao. Madam. Chapter 605. Mu Chichi walked to Xing Xiao and sat on his lap quietly. What's wrong? Xing Xiao hugged her, but he did not stop his work. I went out with the criminal investigation team today and met an old acquaintance of the Mu family. When Xing Xiao heard the Mu family, he knew that it must be related to Mu Tangxue. She did not care about anything else. That person is Yi Jingqing. He used to like Mu Tangxue very much. He went abroad 4 years ago and only came back recently. He should know about the Mu family's current situation, but he still asked me about Mu Tangxue. I think he did it on purpose. Xing Xiao put down the pen in his hand and looked at Mu Chichi. So, what are you worried about? He and Mu Tangxue bullied me before, said Mu Chichi. What kind of bully? Xing Xiao looked at her. His eyes were sharp and deep like a deep lake. He will help Mu Tangxue to frame me, said Mu Qiqi. It's not that I still hold a grudge against him. I just feel that he's deliberately mystifying things. In fact, he has ill intentions. Sheng Xiao patted Mu Qiqi's head and comforted her. Don't be afraid, okay? That's true. He is 24 or 25 years old now. He won't be the same as when he was young. Mu Qiqi seemed relaxed because she had someone to rely on now. However, the shadow of childhood was not something that could be gotten rid of easily. In order to comfort the little one in his arms, Sheng Xiao stopped his work. He hugged her and said softly, "Tell me about your childhood except for the parts one know. I've been so happy these 2 years. How can I remember so much?" "Then do you want me to investigate?" asked Sheng Xiao. Mu Qiqi looked at her man and sighed. She leaned on Sheng Xiao and said, "I don't remember how old I was then. That winter, during the New Year, Mu Tangxue took one of Grandpa's wristwatches and broke it. She was so anxious that she cried. At that time, Yi Jingqing was a guest in the Mu family, so he helped Mu Tangxue and put the wristwatch in my bag. Grandpa couldn't find the wristwatch, so he asked Mommy. Then Yi Jingqing told Mommy that he saw me playing with it. What happened? In the end, I got slapped twice and was locked in my room. I spent the New Year alone." "What else?" Sheng Xiao tightened his grip on Mu Qiqi. Also, in the swimming pool at home, Mu Tangxue asked Yi Jingqing to teach her how to swim. So, she grabbed me as a demonstration and pressed me into the water. "What else?" "Also, on Grandpa's birthday he locked me in school. In the end, I came home late and was scolded for having sex with my classmates outside. I knelt in the living room for the whole night." "That's enough." After hearing that, Sheng Xiao felt that it was enough. Even so, that scum still dared to deliberately target Xiao Qi'er? Perhaps he just didn't want to see the sun tomorrow. Your fear of him now comes from the shadow of your childhood. But idiot, that's all in the past. You're not who you used to be. Are you afraid of being bullied? Are my people for others to bully? It was just that the sudden appearance of this person reminded him of the past. Mu Qiqi thought that she certainly didn't need to be afraid. Mu Tangxue only had herself to blame for what happened today. "I know I'm not afraid. I have Captain Tang in the police force. I have you outside the police force. Go to the lounge and sleep for a while. Let's go home together after work." Sheng Xiao pinched her round belly and urged her. Mu Qiqi nodded and left Sheng Xiao's lap. Then she went to the lounge. "What about Sheng Xiao?" He called the intercom. "Su Che, come in." "Co? Go and investigate Yi Jingqing. Don't miss any details. If possible, find out exactly when he first had sex with a woman." "It might take a few days for that level of detail," said Su Che. "I can wait." When Sheng Xiao said those words, there was a strong sense of danger in his tone. Since the other party came to him, he had to greet him. Did he want to stand up for Mu Tangxue? It depended on whether he was qualified to do so. Also, find out where Mu Tangxue is now. Make sure she's in our hands. Got it? It was not hard to imagine how Mu Qiqi spent the past 17 years before she met him. He did not pursue the matter because Xiao Qi'er had undergone a major change in the past 2 years. But now she came to him on her own accord? She was asking for it. In the afternoon at the police station, the forensic report showed that the victim did not commit suicide. Instead, he was pushed down from the rooftop. Since it was a homicide, the case would be taken over by the Major Crimes Unit. The Yi family was very cooperative. After all, it happened in their own house. They hoped that the police could solve the case as soon as possible. Since he is Mu Qiqi's old acquaintance, it should be easier for him to go to the Yi family. But Feng Shanshan shook her head. Don't count on Xiao Qi for this. Her relationship with that Yi guy is definitely not good. "If that's the case, we can't force her," said the professor. Just then, Tang Yen entered the laboratory with his injury. "I'm here to get the autopsy report." The cause of death was a fall. But he was tied up before he died. There are different degrees of strangulation marks on his neck and wrists. The time of death was between 5 and 7 in the morning. The child was 21 years old, in the prime of his youth. He was a university graduate. As for whether he was drugged or not, we can only tell you after the autopsy. Have you informed his family? They are on the way, said Tang Yen. Then you can start with the people around the child. Tang Yen nodded and was about to leave. But when his eyes met Feng Shanshan's, he realized that she was deliberately avoiding his gaze. She even looked away. Since when did he offend this person? At 6 in the evening, a group of people went out for dinner. Tang Yen called Feng Shanshan to the door. Tell me what's wrong? What's wrong? Feng Shanshan asked in confusion. The way you look at me and my attitude. Is it important to you how I look at you? Feng Shanshan leaned against the wall and looked at Tang Yen. You can do whatever you want. Solving the case is the most important thing. How can I stop you? The wounds on your body have opened, haven't they? What are you trying so hard for? If you have someone in your heart, you won't be so reckless. So, Officer Tang, what do you think is wrong with my attitude towards you? Tang Yen turned around quietly and went back to the police station. Feng Shanshan did not stay at the door. She went out to look for food. She felt that she was a little pretentious, but Tang Yan's reckless way of doing things made her see a lot of things clearly. Feelings were not something that one could hope for. They were just partners in bed. Chapter 606. She was worried, but she was not in the position to care. This made Feng Shanshan very uncomfortable. In addition, Tang Yen did not care about his own body. Feng Shanshan almost exploded, especially when she saw the blood on his shoulder. After dinner, Feng Shanshan returned to the police station. Seeing that Tang Yen was eating in the station, she took a detour. However, Tang Yen reached out and pulled her to sit beside him. What are you doing? Someone saw us. They're all out, Tang Yen said. What do you want to say to me? Just say it. Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. She was actually more worried about being seen by passers-by. She did not want to have anything to do with this man in public. I know my own body. If I can't be discharged, I won't force myself, Tang Yen said in a low voice as he took a sip of coffee. So, was this his explanation? Who cares about you? Feng Shanshan snorted. Don't forget that we have nothing to do with each other. Having said that, Feng Shanshan got up from the stool. Tang Yen did not stop her. He only felt that this woman was really heartless and difficult to serve. Feng Shanshan thought that Tang Yen would stay in the station that night or go straight to the crime scene without sleeping. However, when it was time to get off work, he went straight to the forensics laboratory and asked Feng Shanshan, I'm injured and can't drive. Can you send me? The professor looked at Feng Shanshan, and Feng Shanshan looked at the professor in confusion. The professor knew that they were neighbors, so he was so unscrupulous. If you can't drive, you should go to the hospital. Or you can ask your subordinates to drive. Feng Shanshan refused directly. Shanshan, this kid has sent you many times before. What's wrong with you sending him once? I just don't want to. Tang Yen did not say anything. He turned around and walked out. He really found his subordinates and drove the off-road vehicle home. What's wrong with you two? The professor was a little confused. Weren't you good before? No matter what, you're colleagues who care for each other. I just don't like him. Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. It was not until 10 o'clock that she went home. However, when she reached the door, she hesitated. Should she knock on the door? In the end, Tang Yen sent her a text message. If you're not going home, at least tell me where you went. Open the door. After hesitating for a long time, Feng Shanshan still typed these two words. Tang Yen opened the door for her half-naked. The gauze on his shoulder was soaked in blood, which made Feng Shanshan very angry. What are you angry about? Tang Yen returned to the living room, sat on the sofa, and looked at Feng Shanshan. I don't like cold wars and I don't like inexplicable anger. You can make things clear. There's no need to keep mocking me. That's who I am, Feng Shanshan said bluntly. Shanshan, this was the first time Feng Shanshan heard Tang Yen call her that. Feng Shanshan took a deep breath and entered the room first. She closed the door and calmed herself down. I'm just very confused. I don't know why I'm angry at you. I knew it had nothing to do with you, but when I heard that you were injured, I ran faster than anyone else. You took a bullet yesterday and came to work today. Are you some kind of Iron Man? Aren't you afraid that others will worry about you? I'm not in any position to ask you, so I might as well keep my distance from you. At least this way I won't be angry. After saying that, Feng Shanshan was about to go to the bedroom, but when she passed by Tang Yen, he grabbed her wrist. What you said is too complicated. I don't understand. You? Tang Yen lowered his head and kissed Feng Shanshan's lips. He sucked on them and let go after a while. Feng Shanshan's face was red, but she could smell the medicine on Tang Yan's body. Let go of me. If you say it in a simpler way, I can answer an important question for you. Was this an exchange? Feng Shanshan laughed self-deprecatingly, but she still simplified her meaning seriously. I want to control you, but I don't have the right to do so. I don't want to be your girlfriend, so I'm angry at myself and take it out on you. Do you understand now? I'll let you control me. I don't want the right. Isn't that weird? Feng Shanshan thought about it carefully after listening to him. Are you going to do something about it? Will you really listen? Feng Shanshan narrowed her eyes. She was a little doubtful. No, very doubtful. I'll try my best. After hearing Tang Yan's words, Feng Shanshan was in a good mood. That's what you said. Tang Yan looked at Feng Shanshan seriously. It was a tacit agreement. Then what do you want to do now? Take a shower? But it's not convenient for my hands and I'll touch my wound. Go in, strip and wait. Feng Shanshan pushed him to the bathroom. I'll change. I'll be right there. In fact, Feng Shanshan thought that she was not involved in it. But she did not realize that at first she just wanted a bed partner. But now she had begun to be greedy and wanted to interfere with Tang Yan's life and care about his past. Although the two of them were not officially a couple, couldn't the people around them see that the two of them were a couple in name only? Only she was still deceiving herself. The next morning, Su Che sent news that he had searched the entire slum but could not find any news of Mu Tangxue. Although Su Che did not know who she was, he heard that she looked very similar to Mu Qiqi. There's no trace of her life since a few months ago, and I'm sure that she was not taken away by the Yi family. So Yi Jingqing thought that Xiao Qier was still hiding Mu Tangxue. Search for her, Xing Xiao ordered. Xing Xiao ordered, but investigate Yi Jingqing first. This man had made Xiao Qier suffer so much. He could not let it go just like that. Moreover, he was the one who provoked him first. Mu Qiqi did not know that Xing Xiao was thinking about dealing with the Yi family. After she got up, she planned to go to the police station. You don't have to avoid Yi Jingqing. I've said it before. My woman should be able to do whatever she wants. You should go to the field when you need to, and you should go to the Yi family when you need to. If he dares to do anything to you, he will be punished 10 times or 100 times more. After listening to Xing Xiao, Mu Qiqi hugged him tightly. Okay. Yesterday was just a natural reaction. But from today onwards she would not be afraid anymore. So, she would participate in this case and the Yi family would also go. When she arrived at the police station, the seniors in the station came to look for her. Qiqi, we've tried to contact the young master of the Yi family, but he's been tight-lipped. He's not willing to cooperate. We know that you used to be related to the Yi family. So, we hope that you can help us. Feng Shanshan wanted to help Mu Qiqi, but Mu Qiqi said, okay, I got it. Are you sure? Chapter 607. Then I'll go with you, Feng Shanshan said excitedly. Feng Shanshan said excitedly. She was really happy because she had reached a new consensus with that man last night. Are you in a good mood today? Feng Shanshan glanced at someone in the police station and nodded. Not bad. It seems that Officer Tang is very pleasing to you. Mu Qiqi smiled too. In front of outsiders, one was the captain of the criminal investigation team, and the other was an assistant. Their worlds seemed to overlap, but there was a gap in their identities. Moreover, Tang Yin was cold to women, so the people in the police station did not associate them together. Soon they went out to the field with the seniors. Not long after, Mu Qiqi was brought to Yi Jingqing's office. Qiqi, this is the place. Mu Qiqi nodded and took a deep breath to calm herself down. Then she knocked on the door of Yi Jingqing's office. Come in. Mu Qiqi pushed the door open and walked in. She did not bring any other police officers with her. She walked to Yi Jingqing's desk alone. Can I bother you for a while? Yi Jingqing stopped what he was doing and looked at Mu Qiqi. He nodded with a smile. Of course. Brother Jingqing, did the police investigation cause you any inconvenience? Not really, Yi Jingqing replied. Then, can you please cooperate with the police? After all, solving this case quickly can restore peace to Yi Holdings as soon as possible. Then won't the time I see you be greatly reduced? Yi Jingqing smiled deeply. I was deceived by my parents when I went abroad for a few years. They said that you and your sister are living a happy life and don't need me to disturb you. So, I did not contact Tangxue for a few years. But now that I'm back, I can't find her. Do you know where she is? He was still so strange. Since you have been to the Mu family, you should know that a lot of things happened between me and Mu Tangxue. I know. You even left her in the slums. Yi Jingqing continued to smile. His calm, cunning, and sinister expression was exactly the same as when he was young. Since you know, why are you asking me for her? Mu Qiqi looked at Yi Jingqing deeply. After all, she was not someone who could be easily frightened. On the other hand, Yi Jingqing's impression of Mu Qiqi had changed a lot. At this moment, the girl who had been meek and submissive seemed to have ceased to exist. He knew that Xing Xiao was behind Mu Qiqi, but he did not know that Mu Qiqi herself had changed so much. You guys were the ones who dealt with him. If I don't ask you guys, who should I ask? Yi Jingqing raised an eyebrow. Tell me where Tangxue lives and I will cooperate with the police. Isn't this a win-win situation? I don't know where she is right now. Even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you. So, you don't have to threaten me with the investigation. The police don't need you. On the contrary, I want to warn you that this matter hasn't been spread yet. Your Yi Group's stock hasn't been affected yet. However, it doesn't mean that it won't happen in the future. Chi-Chi, you have changed a lot. Yi Jingqing looked at Mu Chi-Chi in surprise. I thought you would be afraid when you saw me yesterday. Afraid? Mu Chi-Chi chuckled. Afraid of you? Shouldn't you be afraid of me? Mu Chi-Chi shook her head and smiled. In the beginning, I admit that I was a little afraid. But now, I understand that it's just because of the trauma when I was young. I don't need to be afraid of you now. Why should I be afraid of you? I heard that you were trained by Sheng Xiao. Then show me what you are capable of. Let me see what kind of student the most famous man in Jianchuan teaches. You don't deserve to mention his name. Having said that, Mu Chi-Chi stood up from the chair. The two of them had an unpleasant conversation. Then Mu Chi-Chi walked out of Yi Jingqing's office and went to the entrance of Yi Group. How is it? The seniors came up to her immediately. Mu Chi-Chi shook her head. Don't count on him. He threatened me. Tang Yan's face darkened when he heard Mu Chi-Chi's words. He told the team, follow the procedure. Report when necessary. Tang Yan and Xing Xiao were the same kind of people. They were protective. Since Mu Chi-Chi was from the police station, she was under his protection. How could a forensic doctor be threatened? Did he think he was dead? Actually, there was another reason why he protected Mu Chi-Chi. She was Feng Shanshan's only friend. If she was bullied, not only would Xing Xiao not agree to it, Feng Shanshan would also feel bad. What did he threaten you with? Mu Tangshua's whereabouts, Mu Chi-Chi answered Feng Shanshan. Seems that he really likes Mu Tangxue. I don't think you should come to this damn place. I don't know what kind of trap the young master of the Yi family is going to set for you if you stay here to investigate the case. Feng Shanshan shrugged. Tang Yen glanced at Feng Shanshan and said to Mu Chi-Chi, she's right. If Yi Jingqing wants to deal with you, he will also deal with the police. This is not good for our investigation. You're wrong. If I don't appear here, he won't give you any clues. I thought it was because of your childhood bosom brother that your CEO Sheng has a rival in love. I didn't expect him to ignore you at all. Mu Chi-Chi glanced at Feng Shanshan and said, you won't understand. Yi Jingqing wanted to know where Mu Tangxue was. There was no way. She never regretted sending Mu Tangxue there. After all, Mu Tangxue had done too many evil things. How about this? The victim's parents have arrived at Jianchuan just now. They are at the entrance of the police station now. Mu Chi-Chi, go back to the police station and ask the victim's parents about the situation. This is also part of the investigation, Tang Yen said. Okay. Mu Chi-Chi did not refuse. But just when Mu Chi-Chi turned around and walked toward the police car, she heard Feng Shanshan shouting, be careful. Then a flower pot fell beside Mu Chi-Chi's feet and was smashed into pieces. Everyone looked up at the Yi Holdings building but saw nothing. After all, it was dozens of floors high. Who would know which floor it was thrown from? But in fact, everyone knew that the flower pot was thrown at Mu Chi-Chi. If CEO Xing knows about this, Yi Jingqing's head will be smashed. Feng Shanshan snorted. I'll go with you. But when she left, she looked at Tang Yen meaningfully. Her meaning was self-evident. Try working for long hours if you dare? Try it if you don't know how to rest? Although Tang Yen did not say anything, he understood Feng Shanshan's threat. Last night, the two of them had agreed that she would take care of him and he would take care of her. Although he did not say it, he must have agreed in his heart. Chapter 608. On the way back, Feng Shanshan couldn't help but ask Mu Chi-Chi, what's the grudge between you and that Yi guy? Mu Chi-Chi snorted coldly and answered, when I was young he teamed up with Mu Tangxue to bully me. Maybe I made Mu Tangxue disappear so he wants to take revenge for her. Were you really that miserable when you were in the Mu family? Mu Chi-Chi glared at Feng Shanshan. Alright, I won't ask any more. Feng Shanshan raised her hands in surrender. But your man really contributed a lot to change you into this. Aren't you going to tell him about this? It was impossible for her not to be angry when a flower pot fell on her head. But she wouldn't let Xing Xiao take revenge for such a small matter. Soon they arrived at the police station. When they saw the deceased's parents, they felt a little upset. That was because they were an elderly couple. The old man had a head full of white hair and a stooped figure. If the old couple knew that their grandson had passed away, How heartbroken would that be? Ladies, a police officer told us to come to the police station for something. May I ask what happened to my son? Your son is Cheng Yunfeng? Yes. We're in our 40s and we only have one son. We dote on him a lot. If he did anything wrong, please forgive him. He's not a bad person. Mu Qiqi glanced at Feng Shanshan and said, I don't like to deal with such cases. Who doesn't like it? Feng Shanshan said. Mu Qiqi even suspected that if the old couple knew that their son was gone, they would faint on the spot. On the other hand, Tang Yen went to look for Yi Jingqing personally. However, when Yi Jingqing saw Tang Yen, he was not polite at all. Officer, why did you send Mu Qiqi away? I still want to reminisce more with Qiqi. Tang Yen turned around and looked at Yi Jingqing. His tone was businesslike. Mr. Yi, you don't seem to have noticed that someone has lost his life in your building. Life is so fragile now. Yi Jingqing smiled. Officer, I thought you should be used to it. I've also heard about what happened between you and Mu Qiqi. But I advise you not to attack Mu Qiqi so easily before you find what you want. Otherwise, the thing you care about might suffer 10 times more than what she suffered. What do you think? Tang Yen said in a deep voice. Yi Jingqing suddenly stopped smiling and looked at Tang Yen coldly. You can investigate the case but don't affect my business. The person died in the Yi group. As the leaders of the enterprise, you have an unshirkable responsibility. As for whether or not you are covering up for the murderer or anything else, I will personally come to you when I find out. I never thought that such a handsome officer would be interested in protecting Mu Qiqi. That's my colleague. After that, Tang Yen walked around Yi Jingqing's office a few more times. If I have any other questions, I will come again. Yi Jingqing didn't say anything else. He just made a welcoming gesture. Tang Yen walked out of Yi Jingqing's office and asked his subordinates, How's the investigation going? There's a rope that hasn't been cleaned up on the rooftop. It should be the rope used to kidnap Cheng Yunfeng that night. We have asked the professor to extract the DNA on it to see if it matches Cheng Yunfeng's. Also, check if there are any fingerprints of the murderer. The people from Team A found out that Cheng Yunfeng is a proactive and hardworking young man. He works hard and never makes enemies with others. Team B found out that Cheng Yunfeng's department is planning to be promoted. It's very likely that Cheng Yunfeng did it. So, we don't know if it's because of competition. Speaking of which, we really have to say that the Yi family is really a ruthless enterprise. It takes a long time and it's tiring. They don't even treat people as human beings. Go and investigate the employees who are competing with Cheng Yunfeng. The rest of you follow me back to the police station, Tang Yen ordered. As for Yi Jingqing, he was a bit of a hindrance. Since it was a personal grudge, he felt that this matter could be solved through private channels. They got into the police car. Tang Yen sat in the back and closed his eyes. When the others saw this, they couldn't help but say, Captain Tang, why don't you go home and rest? We will continue to follow up. We will report to you in detail if there's any progress. I will go back to the police station to rest. You guys continue. Tang Yen nodded. When the others saw that he agreed to rest, they were a little surprised. After all, Tang Yen was a famous workaholic ever since he came to the police station. But now he was willing to rest? His teammates didn't know that Tang Yen was injured. They thought that his investigation was going smoothly. Besides, they were all men, so they didn't notice how ugly Tang Yan's face was. When they returned to the police station, the old couple was still crying in the morgue. Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan were helpless. But Tang Yen said, You can't even handle such a small matter. Go out and let me handle it. Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. It didn't matter. However, 5 minutes after she and Mu Qiqi left, the old couple was comforted by Tang Yen. Then he handed them over to the others. Where are you going? Feng Shanshan saw him leaving the morgue and quickly asked. Wasn't he halfway done? Rest. Tang Yen only replied with 2 words. Feng Shanshan almost laughed out loud. Because only she knew that Tang Yen was being obedient. However, after going to the restroom, Tang Yen still planned to call someone. That was Mu Qiqi's family. He had never seen how smart the most famous man in Jianchuan was. When he received Tang Yan's call, Xing Xiao had just finished a video conference. Seeing that it was an unfamiliar call, he waited until it rang 3 times before officially picking up. I'm Xing Xiao. I'm Tang Yan. When he heard Tang Yan's name, Xing Xiao knew who the person was. However, it was strange that the call was actually on his phone. Is it about the Yi family? Xing Xiao asked Tang Yan directly. Chief Xing, you really live up to your name. Mu Qiqi was almost hit by a flower pot today. He is full of hostility toward her. He seems to be looking for someone. Do you know Chief Xing? Captain Tang, you can even get my phone number without asking. How can you not know what Yi is looking for? Xing Xiao chuckled. The two men seemed to have a strong aura. Are you here to remind me? Chapter 609. Then. Thank you for reminding me, Captain Tang, Xing Xiao said in a low voice. But Captain Tang suddenly called me. I don't think it's just about Qi, there must be something else, right? It's so easy to talk to smart people. Actually, Tang Yen called not only to let Xing Xiao be more vigilant, but also to get Yi Jingqing's cooperation. Some things were private. The police could not interfere. But it was better for Xing Xiao to know what Yi Jingqing had done to Mu Qiqi than Mu Qiqi hiding it from him. I can say hello to Captain Tang the next time we meet. If Lin Mu and was a half-mature lion, then Tang Yen was definitely a mature tiger. Although their paths were different, they were both solid forces that he could get to know. Since Chi'er was under his command, she would need Tang Yan's care in the future. So Xing Xiao decided to do Tang Yen a favor. After all, didn't Yi Jingqing hit his heart with a flower pot? After answering Tang Yan's call, Xing Xiao answered the intercom. Suche. Chief. Suche had just come back and was collecting information about Yi Jingqing. Help me do something first, Xing Xiao said. Send a visitation card to the Yi family. Okay. Suche nodded. By the way, help me prepare something. Mu Qiqi did not know that Xing Xiao had interfered in this matter. After the old couple had cried enough, she went to the police's resting area with Feng Shanshan. Currently, the old couple was answering questions from the other police officers. Mu Qiqi looked at the old couple and felt sad. They had a son in their old age, but he was gone just like that. What hope did they have for their future? I wonder what Tang Yen said to them. Hearing Feng Shanshan's nagging, he knew that she was still worried about the future of the old couple. She was such a person. She was tough on the outside but soft on the inside. Aren't you curious about what they said, Captain Tang? Yes. Feng Shanshan nodded honestly. She also had some naughty thoughts in her mind. She wanted to go to the resting room to see Tang Yen now. Perhaps Mu Qiqi understood her expression. After all, she was experienced. So she said to her, "Go ahead. I'll keep an eye on them for you." He's a veteran. Feng Shanshan chuckled. After noticing that there was no one around, she slipped into the police station's shabby break room. Tang Yen leaned on the bed and closed his eyes to sleep. Feng Shanshan approached him quietly. She was about to sit beside him, but she was startled by his voice. "What are you doing here? I can't rest well either. I just want to know what you said to the old couple. Aren't you afraid that they'll commit suicide?" Tang Yen closed his eyes and remained silent for a while, which made Feng Shanshan think that he had fallen asleep. But just as Feng Shanshan was about to leave, he said, "Life may seem flashy on the surface, but those who live in it are very fragile and vulnerable. On the other hand, those who look like they're riddled with holes and would collapse with a single strike have hearts that are even more unyielding than you can imagine. That's because they've been tempered by life and have already become resilient. When you're free, let's go and see the old couple. I've acknowledged them as my godparents." After listening to him, Feng Shanshan suddenly understood where Tang Yan's story and his deep thoughts came from. Perhaps it was because he had seen too much and experienced too much. That was why he was like this now. Do you always deal with such things like this? There are about 6 families that I'm sponsoring now. Why would I care about one more? Once you've gotten the answer you want, you can leave now. Feng Shanshan nodded and got up from the bed. Have a good rest. But when she walked to the door, the corners of her lips curled up unconsciously. Although Tang Yen had a lot of bad habits and his behavior was strange, he could really be called a hero. Even if it was not in other people's eyes, it was in her heart. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Papa Yi arrived at Yi Holdings and told Yi Jingqing that he had received Xing Zhao's visiting card. Yi Jingqing thought that Xing Zhao's importance to Mu Qiqi was not just a rumor. "Father, no matter what CEO Xing's intention is, I will take good care of him. Don't worry. I know you're still holding a grudge because of Tangxue. But now that you can't find her, you must cheer up. Even if you can offend the Sheng family, don't provoke Xing Xiao. Since he came to you personally, it means that you've done something to make him unhappy." "I know, Father," Yi Jingqing answered calmly. "Are the police still in Yi Holdings?" "Yes. That employee did not commit suicide. So, before the case is solved, the police will come and go in Yi Holdings," Yi Jingqing answered. "Make the necessary arrangements. The Gu family is the best example. You must cooperate with the police. Don't cause any scandal and embarrass Yi Holdings." "I know, Father," Yi Jingqing said nervously. "Also, Don't offend that Officer Tang from the criminal investigation team. He is not a kind person. He will fight with you until the end. Unexpectedly, Tang Yen was so famous. Don't worry, father. After that, Papa Yi left Yi Holdings quickly. After all, he had left the family business to his son. So, he had no reason not to trust his son. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Xing Xiao's car arrived at the entrance of Yi Holdings on time. Xing Xiao already knew that his Xiaoqia was now in the police force. Yi Jingqing immediately came out to welcome him. He seemed to be very enthusiastic. Welcome, Chief Sheng. I've always heard of your name. It's my honor to meet you for the first time. You're welcome, Chief Yi. This way, please. Yi Jingqing pointed the way and led Xing Xiao into Yi Holdings. Su Che followed behind Xing Xiao to protect him. Yi Jingqing could tell that Su Che was very skillful. Even if Officer Tang were to fight with him, he would not be able to defeat him. Xing Xiao was good at finding people. Soon they arrived at the VIP reception room of Yi Holdings. Yi Jingqing asked his secretary to prepare some tea. I wonder why you're here today, Chief Sheng? Don't be nervous, CEO Yi. I'm here for a private matter. I know you're looking for Mu Tongxue. Do you have any clues? Xing Xiao went straight to the point. Yi Jingqing could not guess what Xing Xiao was going to do. So he laughed. Could it be that the stingy Mu Qiqi told on me? Chapter 610. Look, it's just a small matter. There's no need for you to come personally. You can just give me a call. Yi Jingqing laughed. Of course, he tried to make Xing Xiao unable to see through him, but he was too inexperienced in front of Xing Xiao. Because the moment Xing Xiao came, he had already pinched the soft spot in his heart. Mu Tongxue. Until now, he had not found Mu Tongxue's whereabouts. This did not rule out the possibility that Mu Tongxue was still under Xing Xiao's surveillance. Tang Yen was right. No matter how much he hated Mu Qiqi now, he could not make things difficult for her. If Mu Tongxue was really in Xing Xiao's hands, she would definitely suffer more. And Tang Yen was not someone to be trifled with. Since it was not Mu Qiqi who told Xing Xiao about it, it must be Tang Yen. Since you're so straightforward, it's fine. I will help you find Mu Tongshue's whereabouts. Thank you very much, Chief Sheng. I heard that you've just returned to China. If you need anything, you can come to Zhongting. Since we're done here, it's time for me to go. Let me send you off. With just a few words, Xing Xiao had made it clear to Yi Jingqing what he should say and show his attitude. Yi Jingqing could not handle it at all. No wonder Mu Qiqi had changed so much in 2 years. With such a powerful teacher by her side, of course she could do whatever she wanted. And he knew that it was impossible to threaten the police and make Mu Qiqi compromise. If he wanted to find Mu Tongxue, he had to think of other ways. Threatening the police was not a long-term solution. After all, the murder happened in the staff dormitory of Yi Holdings. Xing Xiao only went in for 5 minutes. But when he left, he asked Su Che, "Is everything done?" "Don't worry, Chief." At least he could let Yi Jingqing know what it felt like to have his heart beat faster when he went back. After Yi Jingqing sent Xing Xiao off, he returned to his office using the private elevator. But when he entered the elevator, the lights in the elevator began to flicker and the elevator began to shake. Yi Jingqing did not move. He was afraid that if he moved, the elevator would start to fall. The door could not be opened and there was no signal in the elevator. Yi Jingqing quickly called the police. After almost half an hour, the elevator door finally opened. Yi Jingqing stood there awkwardly. He wondered if he was so unlucky because he met Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao was indeed ruthless. He was avenging Mu Qiqi for the flower pot. In the evening, when Tang Yen went to Yi Holdings again, he was told by his subordinates that Yi Jingqing was much more cooperative and polite. He also heard that Xing Xiao came in the afternoon. That was why it was a piece of cake for Xing Xiao. Any new developments? Cheng Yunfeng is really a very hard-working young man, but this time he's competing with an old employee of the Yi Group. His name is Li Jie. We've asked Li Jie about it. On the night of the incident, he was at home with the child. He has sufficient alibi, so Cheng Yunfeng's death should have nothing to do with him. Anything else? Tang Yen asked. We've asked the employees of Yi Holdings. They are not allowed to go up to the rooftop. And there are no surveillance cameras up there. When the incident happened, it was early in the morning, which means anyone could have done it. I'm afraid it's very difficult to investigate without any clues. After all, Yi Holdings has thousands of employees. So, we still have to investigate Cheng Yunfeng's interpersonal relationships. Also, have you found the source of the rope? Tang Yen asked as he walked to Yi Holdings. That kind of rope can be seen everywhere in Yi Holdings factories. And on the rope, There are no suspicious traces except for Qing Yunfeng's DNA. Tang Yin did not say anything more. He went to the scene again. Qing Yunfeng was tied up and thrown down from a high place. To throw a 70-kilogram man to such a place, he must be strong and tall. Moreover, he must have a certain level of cultural knowledge. At least, he must know how to counter-investigate. With these conditions, he could actually choose from the employees of Yi Holdings. So, Tang Yin went to Yi Jingqing's office again. Sorry to disturb you. What do you need this time, Captain Tang? A list of your employees and their detailed resumes, Tang Yin replied. If possible, please provide the relevant surveillance cameras. That's easy. But I didn't know that Captain Tang knew a big shot like CO Sheng. Yi Jingqing's words were obviously sarcastic. However, Tang Yin did not respond. Instead, he said, if CO Yi could cooperate earlier, everything would be simple. I'll ask someone to prepare what you want later. Thank you. Having said that, Tang Yin was about to leave, but Yi Jingqing stopped him. I wonder if it's illegal to restrict someone's freedom of movement? Tang Yin, of course, knew what he was talking about. So, he replied calmly, show me the evidence first. It's a pity that Captain Tang is not on my side. I don't belong to any side. My duty is to investigate the case. Tang Yin was very confident and his words were ruthless. The pressure he gave people was different from Xing Xiao. His ruthlessness was that he would fight to the death with you. In order to solve the case, he would do whatever it took. He would not give you any breathing space. At the same time, he would not tolerate any criminal acts. If Tang Yin and Xing Xiao were friends, such a combination would be really scary. Late at night, Xing Xiao went to the police station to pick Mu Qiqi up. The moment he saw her, he hugged her and asked, "Don't you have anything to say to me?" Mu Qiqi thought for a while and looked at Xing Xiao's eyes. She knew that this man must have known something. I was hit by a flower pot, but I didn't get hit. What did I teach you? Of course, I won't let this happen. But Xiao Xiao, my current identity doesn't allow me to do things like an eye for an eye. But it doesn't mean that I won't remember this. I will always find a chance. I've already avenged you. Xing Xiao pushed Mu Qiqi's head. Why would I wait for you to find a chance? Have you met Yi Jingqing? Your captain called me personally. I have to do him a favor, explained Xing Xiao. You mean Tang Yin? Why does he have your number? It's easy for him to investigate. Xing Xiao hugged her and leaned against the cushion. This person seems quite interesting. Are you interested? Mu Qiqi asked. He can also play a part in protecting you. Tang Yin and Xing Xiao's meeting was a story for another time. But, with this pleasant cooperation, he believed that they would get to know each other better in the future. Chapter 6:11. Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao seriously. You've gone to look for Mu Tangxua, haven't you? She's missing. There's no news yet, Xing Xiao answered. It's New Year's Eve in 2 days. Come home early these few days. Mu Qiqi nodded when she remembered that she had to attend the state banquet on New Year's Eve. I remember. Still, the wedding ring was still in her arms. Why did she feel that it was so difficult to give it away? In fact, Xing Xiao was also waiting. How long would this little one hide the ring? Mu Qiqi thought that it was better to plan it as soon as possible. So, when Xing Xiao went to the study to deal with some matters, Mu Qiqi called Lu Qianshan. Lu Qianshan was definitely better than Feng Shanshan when it came to such matters. Wow, my busy man, I haven't seen you since your birthday. It's been almost a month and I haven't given you the birthday present I prepared for you yet, Lu Qianshan said on the other end of the phone. Qianshan, I have something to ask you. All right. Go ahead. Lu Qianshan smiled as she sat in front of her dressing table. I want to give Xiao Xiao something formal. Can you help me think of a way? After hearing Mu Qiqi's request for help, Lu Qianshan couldn't help but laugh. With your man's character, you just need to take the things out. Even if he says he doesn't like it, he will be very happy in his heart. It's different this time. It's our wedding ring, Mu Qiqi said. I've never done anything to coax him. I want him to be happy too. Isn't that simple? You just have to follow your heart, right? Think about it. You've been together for more than 2 years. Have you forgotten how it felt when you first liked him? How can you show your sincerity by asking me? She had been spoiled rotten by Xing Xiao over the last 2 years. She was used to being loved. She could not even remember what she had done for Xing Xiao over the last 2 years. Am I not good enough? All right. I know you want to show your heart to your Xing CEO. Think of a way. Let's have a meal together when we have time. I haven't eaten with you for a long time. Where's your Lin Mu? I went to the competition. Lu Qianshan sighed. So I'm lonely now. After chatting a little more with Lu Chanqian, Mu Qiqi hung up. How could she forget how she felt when she had a crush on Xing Xiao? At that time in the small villa, she looked forward to seeing this man every day. When she heard the sound of a car downstairs, she couldn't help but get up and go downstairs to confirm it. At that time she was very careful. She didn't want anyone to find out, but at the same time she hoped that he would give her a response. Even now that feeling still made one's heart itch. So how could she not be surprised? At that thought Mu Qiqi felt relieved. She put down her phone and went to Xing Xiao's study. Xing Xiao looked up and saw Mu Qiqi entering the room. He waved at her. Come here, what happened? I picked out a dress for you. I can't be too rude at the state banquet. Xing Xiao hugged her and placed her on his thighs. That kind of occasion was not an occasion to compete in fashion, but one that suited his status. The white embroidered dress is better. There are some dark green embellishments on it. It can also match your suit. Mu Qiqi replied, wrapping her arms around Xing Xiao's neck. Xing Xiao looked at the computer screen as if he was telling the designer to adjust the size. It was then that Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao's side profile almost obsessively. You like my side profile that much? It's not like. It's love, Mu Qiqi replied. Xing Xiao smiled and turned Mu Qiqi around so that she straddled him. Then he said in a low and hoarse voice, Unbuckle my belt. And then? Mu Qiqi asked. And then? Xing Xiao lifted her pajamas and took off her belt. Then he pulled her closer to him. The tight union caused the two of them to sigh deeply. That kind of satisfaction was enough to drive them crazy. You're so bad. Mu Qiqi's body was covered in sweat. But at that moment, Xing Xiao suddenly held Mu Qiqi's round waist and they were still tightly joined together. I'll let you know what's worse. When would this little thing be willing to take out the ring? Of course, the longer Mu Qiqi thought about it, the more it proved that she valued it. Late at night, Tang Yin got off work and returned home. Feng Shanshan had just finished cooking dinner. She was still wearing a naughty apron. Have some supper. That way the injuries on your body will heal faster. Tang Yin put down the key and took off his black windbreaker. Then he sat down at the dining table obediently. Feng Shanshan was satisfied. Then she brought the supper over. Eat. Tang Yin did not say anything. He finished the supper that Feng Shanshan had prepared. After that he got up from the chair. Shower? Yes. Do you need my help? Feng Shanshan untied the apron and asked. Yes, Tang Yin said. Feng Shanshan secretly curled her lips. After cleaning up the dishes, she followed Tang Yin into the bathroom. This man was so seriously injured, but he was still alive and kicking outside. If it were another man, he would definitely be in bed for half a month. So, the first thing she did when she entered the bathroom was to clean Tang Yin's wounds. His muscles were really tight. Tang Yin closed his eyes. He felt itchy on his shoulder because Feng Shanshan's hand was very light. Actually, you can use more force, Tang Yin said. He could not stand it anymore. So, you called Xing Xiao about Yi Jingqing? When did it happen? Feng Shanshan used more force and asked. Before you came in at noon, Tang Yin answered. I didn't expect that you could ask Xing Xiao for help. This could be considered as an eye-opener for Feng Shanshan. Therefore, she felt that this man might be more complicated than she had imagined. After bandaging the wound, Feng Shanshan walked in front of Tang Yin and helped him wipe his body. Perhaps this man was afraid that she would feel awkward, so he closed his eyes and pretended to be resting. His body was really perfect. Feng Shanshan felt that there was nothing she was unwilling to do for such a body. However, their relationship was still very strange. Feng Shanshan did not feel that there was any difference between her and his wife. After the shower, Tang Yin leaned on the sofa and slept. But at this time the property management came knocking on the door. Usually it was a man who opened the door. Today it was a woman. She said, "You must be Mr. Tang's girlfriend." "Hello, someone sent something to the property management. We are here to deliver it to you." Feng Shanshan was too lazy to explain, so she took the thing. "Thank you." Chapter 6:12. It's for you. Feng Shanshan walked to him and put it on the coffee table. "Open it," Tang Yin said with his eyes closed. Feng Shanshan thought that Tang Yin was a serious man. But when she opened the box, she realized how naive she was. It was full of Mr. Du. How flirtatious was this man? Since he bought so many of them, did it mean that he planned to live happily with her for a long time? Thinking of this, Feng Shanshan quietly brought the box to the bedroom. Then she took out all the boxes of Mr. Du and put them neatly in the drawer. Feng Shanshan thought that he was obedient. Otherwise, with his workaholic character, he would still be investigating Qing Yunfeng's case in the staff dormitory. She wondered what the expressions of the police officers would be like if they knew that their serious and scary Captain Tang was being suppressed by a little girl. Late at night, it was snowing all over Jianchuan. Yi Jingqing carried his briefcase home. Unexpectedly, Papa Yi was waiting for him in the living room. "Father, what did Xing Xiao tell you when he came today?" Papa Yi tilted his head and took off the glasses on the bridge of his nose. "He heard that Mu Qiqi and I are old friends, so he came to have a look," Yi Jingqing explained. "Is it that simple?" Papa Yi did not believe it. "You and Mu Tongxue were close when we were young. You bullied Mu Qiqi for her many times." "I know that. Now that Mu Tongxue has lost her reputation because of Mu Qiqi, are you willing to give up on her?" Indeed, no one knew his son better than his father. "It's been so long since Mu Tongshue's matter. Can't you just give up? When you were studying abroad, I was afraid that you would be distracted, so I didn't tell you about what happened to the Mu family. In the end, you got yourself into a dead end. Can't you just let bygones be bygones?" "Father, I know what I'm doing," Yi Jingqing said with a smile. Papa Yi took a deep breath and said helplessly, "I'm afraid that you are no match for Xing Xiao." Yi Jingqing did not say anything and went back to his room. But when he sat on the bed and looked at the photo of him and Mu Tongxue, he did not feel good. Even if Mu Tongxue had made a grave mistake, he would forgive her because he had always liked that flamboyant little girl. They were both twin sisters, but why did Mu Qiqi get to live the best life while his Tongxue had to suffer? Even now, there was no way to determine whether she was dead or alive. This isn't fair. Therefore, even if he had to give it his all, even if he had to sacrifice his life, he had to get justice for the girl he loved. The next day, Yi Group's employee screening had preliminary results. Among them, there were 3 men who met the conditions of criminal suspects. However, these 3 suspects either had nothing to do with Qing Yunfeng or had an alibi. The case seemed to have fallen into a mystery once again. "Captain Tang, the clue is broken again." Tang Yin turned around and looked at Yi Jingqing. For a moment, he felt Yi Jingqing's lips curl up. "President, he doesn't seem to want us to find out the truth." "What are you talking about? With Captain Tang's ability, it's only a matter of time before we find the real culprit. I have no doubt about that. It's just that in this situation, if you need any other assistance." "Not at the moment. I'll look for you if I need anything," Tang Yen said with his arms crossed. Then they returned to the police station. They wanted to go through the case again to see if there was anything they had overlooked. At this time, Tang Yen asked Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan to join the discussion. After all, these two were not only talented in forensics, but they were also good at discovering details. The staff dormitory of Yi Group is not open to the public. On the contrary, they are quite strict with the staff. In other words, it's almost impossible to sneak into the dormitory because they have a strict registration system. The surveillance cameras did not find any outsiders entering the dormitory. But the analysts did not find any suspects among the staff of Yi Group. "So, I want to hear your opinion." After hearing Tang Yan's words, Mu Qiqi looked at the projector behind him. "Have you noticed this person?" Everyone turned to look at the person Mu Qiqi was pointing at. In the projector, the man was tall and was wearing a security guard's uniform. He was closing the door of the dormitory. Tang Yin immediately realized that there was no such person in the staff information given to him by Yi Group. In other words, they had missed something. So, Tang Yin immediately said to the information analyst, "Get this person's information now." "Okay, Captain Tang." After giving the order, Tang Yin looked at Mu Qiqi and said, "The young master of the Yi family doesn't seem to want us to solve the case." "I'm sorry, Captain Tang. I implicated the police because of our personal grudges." "But you still found out." With that, Tang Yin led the team out again. Feng Shanshan looked at Mu Qiqi and shrugged. "Now Xiao Yi won't have a chance to cause you trouble. He must be very sad." Mu Qiqi snorted coldly. "People who want revenge can create opportunities even if they don't have a chance. Then you have to be careful." Yi Jingqing did want to hide it from the police. Yi Group did not only have official staff, but also new staff and temporary staff. But he did not expect the police to investigate so quickly. And they had learned that the guard had a quarrel with Qing Yunfeng before. In addition, he could not explain his whereabouts on the night of the incident. So, the police brought him back to the police station for interrogation. But before leaving, Tang Yin looked at Yi Jingqing and said, "It seems that Xiao Yi likes to play hide-and-seek with the police." "Captain Tang, you must be joking." "How can I? Do you know who found this person?" Muchichi. Tang Yen looked at Yi Jingqing. Don't underestimate her ability. Isn't it good that the police can solve the case? Yi Group can also recover as soon as possible. Tang Yen looked at Yi Jingqing deeply. Recover as before? I'm afraid not. Yi Jingqing knew very well that he came back to China to stir up trouble. He would appear wherever there was a chance to get Muchichi and Xingxiao. I hope that Yi Group can cooperate and make a statement. Sorry to bother you. Having said that, Tang Yen left with the team. Yi Jingqing watched Tang Yen leave with his men. His eyes flashed. This was just the beginning. After the man was arrested, the interrogation soon came to a conclusion. I didn't expect that the reason for killing could be so simple. Because Cheng Yunfeng worked very hard, it was always late at night when he returned to the dormitory. But this man was too lazy to open the door for Cheng Yunfeng, so he asked for a reward. Chapter 613. If that old couple knew that their son was thrown off the rooftop because of this, they would definitely be devastated. Feng Shanshan sighed. This is the most pitiful part. But no matter what, the criminal is finally arrested, Muchichi said with her arms crossed. How did you notice the guard? I also looked through their employee information, but I didn't see this person's photo, Muchichi replied. Feng Shanshan gave Muchichi a thumbs up. At the same time, she received a message from Tang Yen. Let's go see that old couple in the afternoon. Just us two? You still want someone else? Feng Shanshan did not reply because she realized that this man seemed to be deliberately training her. He would bring her to many occasions in private. You can eat with the professor later. I have to go out for a while. Feng Shanshan put away her phone and said to Muchichi. In fact, Muchichi didn't have to think to know who she was going out with. Be careful that you don't go overboard and let the people in the police station see through you. Feng Shanshan shrugged. Anyway, she could find 1,000 reasons to explain the two of them going out together. What was there to be afraid of? In fact, Muchichi had somewhere to go in the afternoon. She had not been to the small villa for a long time, and she had not seen her aunt for a long time. It was a good time to take advantage of the fact that there were no cases in the police station. After lunch, Muchichi arrived at the little mansion. Knowing that she was coming, Su Zipei coaxed the child to sleep and prepared cakes for her in the living room. Holiday already? I'll go check on the baby first. Muchichi lay beside the crib and looked at the little one sleeping soundly with satisfaction. And is he easy to take care of? It's easy. She rarely cries, just like you when you were young, Su Zipei replied with a smile. Her whole body exuded the softness and radiance of a mother. And do you still remember Yi Jingqing? Su Zipei was stunned when she heard the name. I have an impression of him. He was not good to you. He has returned from abroad and is looking for Mu Tangxue everywhere. Now he is blaming me for her disappearance. But don't worry, I know how to handle it. Hearing this, Su Zipei's face turned cold. He still dares to cause trouble for you? How many times did he help Mu Tangxue bully you? Aunt, that's all in the past. Does young Master Xing know? He asked me and I told him. Muchichi held Su Zipei's arm. The two of them were as close as mother and daughter. So, I'm just telling you. What if that person wants to harm the people around me? Don't worry. I rarely go out now. Your uncle will know how to protect me. Su Zipei patted Muchichi's hand. And is my room still there? Of course he's here. Did you forget what I said? Your room will always be there. I will keep it for you. Actually, I want to do something and I need your help, Aunt. Muchichi's eyes were clear as she whispered into Su Zipei's ear. In fact, it was her plan to give the ring away. Su Zipei nodded and said, This is your wish and your happiness. Of course I will cooperate with you. This was her first home after her rebirth, and the place where their relationship began. As the starting point, of course, she hoped that the ring would be given away here. Of course, Xingxiao really did not know all this at the moment. After all, Muchichi was on vacation. He could not keep an eye on her at all times. Then, when do you want young Master Sheng to come? Tonight. Muchichi smiled mysteriously. After dinner, it seemed to be a good time to exercise and digest the food. Feng Shanshan followed behind Tang Yen. The two of them drove to the old couple's house and bought a lot of things. In a small house there was an old couple. All their hopes had been placed on Cheng Yunfeng. But now this hope had been completely shattered. Seeing Tang Yen, the old woman covered her face and cried. I thought Officer Tang was joking. I didn't expect you to really bring your wife here. Is this little girl really your girlfriend? I've seen her before. She's also a police officer. She's not a police officer. She's a forensic doctor. Tang Yin explained and moved all the things he bought to the old couple's house. You've worked hard because of Yin Feng. Although we can't accept it for a while, we still have to live. Shanshan, there's a small box in the car. Go and carry it over. Feng Shanshan thought of Tang Yan's injured shoulder. She nodded and carried the box over. Open it. Feng Shanshan squatted down and saw a gray puppy sleeping in it. She reached out and carried the little thing out and handed it to Tang Yin. Tang Yin handed the dog to the old woman. Godmother, this dog is docile and easy to raise. It can also help you guard the house. Most importantly, it's loyal and can accompany you and Godfather at any time. When the old woman saw a fresh life in her arms, tears flowed out. You're so considerate, Officer Tang. I'll send someone to deliver the dog food and other things regularly. You don't have to worry. Seeing this, Feng Shanshan's eyes suddenly turned red. This was probably the so-called smoke and fire in the world. She did not expect Tang Yin to have such a soft heart. After visiting the two elders, the two of them returned to the police station. At this time, Feng Shanshan looked at Tang Yan's side profile and said, "You can really understand their inner world. Giving them a puppy can also temporarily distract them. These are just some trivial things. What they need is a kind of hope and strength to persist in living." Tang Yin answered while driving. Do you have this kind of moment? A strong feeling that you can't live on? Yes, Tang Yin replied directly. You also had it? Tang Yin was silent and did not continue to answer Feng Shanshan's question. He felt that it was better not to let Feng Shanshan know some things for the time being. More importantly, he had not completely controlled her yet, so he had to keep it a secret for the time being. Feng Shanshan glared at him and only scolded, "Stingy. Then I won't go out with you in the future." "Whatever you want," Tang Yin said indifferently. But because of his indifferent attitude, Feng Shanshan was angry. "I really can't understand you. I can't be too far away from you, nor can I be too close to you. I can't be good to you, nor can I be bad to you. What exactly do you want?" After hearing Feng Shanshan's complaint, Tang Yin finally chuckled. Her summary was quite on point, so he also concluded, "Anyone with a soul is not easy to chase." Chapter 6:14. Tang Yin stopped talking, which made Feng Shanshan even more speechless. "Other than the case, you seem to be tight-lipped about everything else. Don't you feel tired of doing things halfway and saying things halfway?" Chen Zhao asked. "I'm used to it." Well, Feng Shanshan felt as if she had punched cotton. It was weak and meaningless. "Tang Yin, whoever marries you will definitely die of exhaustion." After saying that, Feng Shanshan looked out of the window angrily and did not want to communicate further with Tang Yin. This person's mouth was really too difficult to pry open. He might as well suffocate to death. After returning to the police station, she was still angry. The professor could see it. "What are you angry about?" "Professor, has Captain Tang always disliked communicating with others?" The professor couldn't help but laugh. "Because of him? I think it's quite tiring to interact with him." You can't blame him. When he first left the police academy, he went undercover and stayed in a drug gang for a year. This kid has always been quiet. After he came back that year, he became even more quiet. He became very thoughtful and thought a lot. When he was undercover, he was forced to do a lot of things that he didn't want to do. Although he succeeded in eliminating the gang in the end, he became very depressed because of it. In the next few years, he was basically a workaholic. He never let anyone know what was on his mind. He was always alone. If you ask him to say what was on his mind like a normal man, he won't be able to say it. This person will carry the sky on his own even if it collapses. So, it's indeed a little tiring for a normal person to communicate with him. Because of this, his relationship is not smooth. He will either be betrayed or sold out. Didn't you say that he doesn't have a girlfriend? He doesn't have a girlfriend. His previous girlfriend has been with him for a few years, the professor replied. Did you misunderstand something when he first came? This person likes to pretend to be ignorant no matter where he goes. It's a habit that he developed when he was undercover. Maybe it's better for him to get along with you. If I accidentally said something and caused a misunderstanding, it must be to make him seem friendlier. Since you don't like him, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you know. Feng Shanshan wouldn't tell the professor that she had always thought that with Tang Yan's EQ, he was still a pure man. How did his last girlfriend die? That kid was too busy, so he went out to find someone else to have an affair. He contracted an illness and died. The professor said casually, he was just like that. There was nothing he could do about it. After knowing about this, he used his own money to treat the girl's illness. After she passed away, he set up a tombstone and sometimes went to take a look. Feng Shanshan fell silent after hearing that. She felt that she was being very unreasonable. In Tang Yan's eyes, she was a delicate woman, wasn't she? That was why he could go to work the next day after being shot and ignore his own pain. Thinking of this, Feng Shanshan felt that the pain she had suffered was not even worth mentioning. She had just been hurt by a man like that and she wanted to die. She didn't believe in love anymore. Tang Yan, who had been betrayed, still had to grit his teeth and treat her. In his heart, what did he think about feelings? Feng Shanshan felt that she really couldn't get close to him anymore. This man was like a bottomless black hole. The more she explored, the more she couldn't find the answer and the more she wanted to go deeper. In the evening, Xing Xiao just got off work. He wanted to call Mu Qiqi to ask where she was, but he received a call from Su Zipei. "Young Master Xing, are you free? Something happened over here. Can I trouble you to come over for a bit?" "I can't tell Qiqi." "Okay, I'll be there in half an hour," Xing Xiao replied. "Thank you." Su Zipei rarely took the initiative to call him, unless it was about Mu Qiqi. This also proved that Su Zipei was really in trouble. That was why she took the initiative to ask him for help. So he gave Mu Qiqi a call. "Where are you?" "In the team," Mu Qiqi replied casually. "When are you going home?" "I'll ask Su Che to pick you up." "It might be a little late." "After 9 o'clock, Mu Qiqi replied. "What's the matter?" "No, you can continue." Having said that, Xing Xiao hung up and drove straight to the small villa. On the other side, Mu Qiqi hung up and looked at her aunt. "He's coming, it's already dark and it might snow later. You should remind him to come slowly." Su Zipei patted Mu Qiqi's cheek. "Go get ready." This time, Xing Xiao really did not expect that it was the little one's trick. He really thought that something really happened to Su Zipei. When he rushed to the small villa, he discovered that the garden outside the small villa was filled with little light bulbs that looked like stars. There was an open-top dining car parked in front of the villa, its hood filled with red roses and scented candles. It was a small paradise. And opposite the dining car hung Mu Qiqi's love letter. Xing Xiao chuckled. He did not expect that the ceremony he had been longing for would come so soon. But Mu Qiqi was not there, and there was an arrow on the ground that pointed to the love letter. Xing Xiao walked to it and took the letter, but he would never have imagined that Mu Qiqi had written the letter while fantasizing about confessing her love to him. "So, brother? Actually, I'd rather call you Xiao Xiao. However, I know that you probably don't fancy a little girl like me. You only brought me back to thank me for saving you. You definitely don't know how enchanting you are. I should have spent every day and night after my rebirth on dealing with Mu Tangxue, but I realized that I'm more attached to something I can't let go of, and that is to be by your side as much as possible. You definitely don't know that I like you in secret, do you? I want you to know, but I'm afraid that you would know. What should I do if you don't like me or even hate me? I'm afraid that my aunt would know, and that she would think that I like my benefactor and bite the hand that feeds me. When I see you, I want to get close to you. I even dream of you, dream of being intimate with you, but you're so unpredictable and uncontrollable. Even if I work hard for 10,000 years, I still can't catch up to you, right? And yet, I yearn for your warmth so much. You don't have any other woman but me. Even if I'm just a 17-year-old girl, I'm special to you, aren't I? That's just wishful thinking. Because I like you. I like you so much that I want to shout it out loud. I really can't control myself. But I'm worried that you would hate me if you knew. If you don't hate me, then open the door to our home. If you do, just pretend that I'm having the most beautiful dream." Xing Zhao's heart softened when he read the letter. He had exposed Mu Qiqi before and never gave her a chance to write a letter. Chapter 6:15. Moreover, how could he hate the little one whom he had spent so much effort raising? That little one really wanted a spanking on the butt. Xing Xiao folded the letter into a very small square and kept it in the pocket of his windbreaker. He could keep the letter until he died. If his children and grandchildren were interested, they could take it out and study it in the future. After putting away the letter, Xing Xiao turned his eyes to the closed door of the little mansion. When the little thing wanted to be romantic, she would do it one after another. She was very artistic and he liked this. Then he strode expectantly towards the little mansion. Behind the door was something he could not let go of for the rest of his life. Xing Xiao reached out to push the door open, thinking that he would see his little one after opening it. However, Mu Qiqi seemed to be playing a game that night. There was a huge sea of roses in the living room of the little mansion, and in the middle of it was a wall of roses. The wedding ring he had asked the designer to make was embedded on the wall, and he did not expect that his little one would put it on the wall. But where was she? Sheng Xiao was about to turn around when a pair of slender arms came from behind and hugged him. Sheng Xiao smiled and was about to turn around, but Mu Qiqi did not let him. Do you recognize that pair of rings? Sheng Xiao was speechless. Where did it come from? He would never admit that he did not recognize it. You don't recognize it? It's fine. I know that it's a pair of rings. It was designed by someone who stared at the designer for 12 hours a day. So what? Sheng Xiao snorted softly. I thought you were going to hold it in until the end of time and hide it from me. You're such a thief. You actually gave it to Mom. Mu Qiqi turned Sheng Xiao around and looked up at him. But I knew it was prepared for you the moment I saw the ring. It's in the shape of a six-pointed star, and our important dates and English names are engraved on the inside. I wouldn't have prepared that. Sheng Xiao reached out and took the ring from the rose bush. Put it on. You're my exclusive little one. Am I not? Mu Qiqi retorted. Sheng Xiao lifted her hand and put the ring on her ring finger. The six-pointed diamond ring shone brightly. Not only that, Sheng Xiao even lifted her hand and kissed it softly. Now it's complete. Mu Qiqi took off the ring on the wall and slid it between his fingers. Everything I have belongs to you, whether it's my body or my soul. Even if I have nothing, I will follow you to the ends of the earth and love you for the rest of my life. At that, Sheng Xiao lifted her chin. He wanted to kiss her, but remembered that they were in the small mansion. Don't worry, Auntie took the baby to Uncle's old home. Baby? At those two words, Sheng Xiao suddenly thought that it would be the most wonderful thing in the world if he could have a baby that looked 70% like Mu Qiqi in his arms. However, she was still too young. He didn't want to deprive her of the right to be happy and have to bear the responsibility of a mother. That would be too unfair to her. Seeing that Sheng Xiao did not move, Mu Qiqi stood on her tiptoes and kissed the man's thin lips. But just as Sheng Xiao was about to carry her, she blocked his chest. I learned how to make steak from Auntie. Won't you do me the honor and try it? And do you know how hard it is to decorate the dining car outside? Sheng Xiao looked at the little one and pinched her ear. I'll let you go for now. Mu Qiqi broke free from Sheng Xiao's embrace and went to the kitchen. After a while, she put the plate in the dining car. I wanted to learn to be a good wife and mother and take care of your food and clothing. I don't need a nanny. I knew you would answer like that. Just take care of my heart. Sheng Xiao said lazily. Then he took another bite of the steak. How is it? Sheng Xiao put down his knife and fork, wiped his mouth and got up. He directly carried Mu Qiqi. I forbid you from entering the kitchen from now on. I prefer you to feed me in other ways. Sheng Xiao thought that the surprise of the night was over when they had dinner. He did not expect that there would be more romance in the bedroom. Mu Qiqi's room was not big. But unexpectedly, there was a huge bathtub in the middle of the room. She had asked someone to make it. Men actually liked these simple and rough things the most. In order to feed him, the stomach was actually the second most important thing. When Sheng Xiao saw that the water was ready, he lifted Mu Qiqi's chin and said, Are you that bad? You like it? Mu Qiqi answered confidently. Was there a need to say it? Of course he liked it. The most direct way to like a woman was to occupy her inch by inch, whether it was her body or her soul. In general, he liked it when the little one would open up for him from time to time. Because for him, what else in this world could please him? It was nothing more than doing the happiest thing in the world with the little one. Tonight, the little mansion was full of romance and ambiguity. Mu Qiqi thought that she did not have to look at the taillights of Sheng Xiao's car like she said in the confession letter. Because now, the man was beside her, inside her body. At the same time, Feng Shanshan was watching TV alone in the living room. Because she could finally understand what it meant to be awkward. She had learned a lot about Tang Yen from the professor during the day. Now that she was looking at the person in question, she did not know how to face Tang Yen. She did not know whether she should be good to him or not. But just as she was thinking seriously, Tang Yan's doorbell rang. Feng Shanshan thought it was the property management again, so she went to open the door barefoot. But she saw a man and a woman standing outside the door. Their expressions were also very surprised. Who are you? Feng Shanshan was stunned for a moment, but she could feel the hostility from the other party. I'm just a tenant. Feng Shanshan casually made up an identity. But what kind of person was Tang Yen? He was a neat freak and he disliked people entering his house the most. It would be strange if he had a tenant. At this time, Tang Yen also came out of the study. When he saw the two people outside the door, he frowned. Your guest. Come in, Tang Yan said directly. The two of them rushed into Tang Yan's living room. But a few minutes later they started arguing. It was mainly the woman's voice. It's only been 2 years since Xiao Jie passed away, and you already have a new lover? And you even brought her home. This is the house you bought for Xiao Jie. How can there be another woman here? Feng Shanshan was speechless. Damn it. Couldn't they be quieter when they were arguing? She could not even focus on the TV. Chapter 616. Last month we lost some money in business. We wanted to ask for Xiao Jie's bank card back. Hasn't it been kept by you? Tang Yan looked up at his ex-girlfriend's brother and sister-in-law with a cold expression. I don't have her bank card here. Nonsense. When you bought this house, she said that she gave the card to you and asked you to be in charge of the renovation, Rinjie's brother said. I returned it to her. I didn't use a single cent of her money for everything here, Tang Yan replied. Tang Yan, I didn't expect you to be such a person. Xiao Jie is already gone. Shouldn't you return what belongs to her to us? After all, we're her family. Feng Shanshan couldn't take it anymore, so she pushed the door open and entered the study. She said to the two of them, I think you can try asking another man where your sister's money was spent. When the two of them heard this, their faces turned red. Tang Yan, I didn't expect you to say such a thing. You didn't tell me. You never mentioned your sister at all. Feng Shanshan crossed her arms and looked like she was watching a show. I don't know how you have the face to come here. Actually, this is good. Shouldn't your family pay for your sister's medical expenses? Tang Yan even paid for it. After all, you're her family. The two of them didn't expect Feng Shanshan to be so eloquent. They were speechless. Tang Yan, is this how you humiliate Xiao Jie? I've really misjudged you. I'll help Tang Yan calculate the medical expenses later. I can round it off for you. This house is old, so it can be renovated. When the two of them heard Feng Shanshan's serious tone, they waved their hands and said, Let's go ask elsewhere. We'll leave right away. Where was her attitude when she scolded them just now? Feng Shanshan looked at the two of them leaving mockingly. She was really disdainful. Everyone says that I have a bad taste in people. You might as well give in, Feng Shanshan mocked. I'll go back to live after I've finished renovating the house. Tang Yan was speechless. After saying that, Feng Shanshan was about to leave, but Tang Yan grabbed her arm. I didn't use anyone's money to buy this house and I didn't buy it for anyone. It's just that this is where I lived when I was young. That's all, Tang Yan explained. That girl lived there before? Yes. Then I still have to move. Feng Shanshan struggled out of his grasp. Tang Yan, you might be mistaken. The place where you lived when you were young might be next door. Feng Shanshan pointed at her house. However, Tang Yan looked at Feng Shanshan without saying a word. Are you jealous? If I admit that I'm jealous, will you move? I live next door. Tang Yan's eyes lit up, but he did not say anything. Perhaps Feng Shanshan felt that this was indeed a little too much, so she said, I can tolerate this being your study, but I won't allow you to live here. You eat and live in my house and this is your studio. That doesn't count as you leaving your parents, does it? Move, or not? Tang Yan answered straightforwardly. Feng Shanshan was finally satisfied when she heard this word. She smiled. I'll get someone to smash the walls of the 2 courtyards tomorrow. So, you admit that you're jealous? Tang Yan was still struggling with this question. Anyone would feel uncomfortable. If you think that I'm jealous, then so be it. Feng Shanshan replied proudly. But can you blacklist those 2 people from now on and never ask about them again? Haven't you done enough? You even want to support their family? Do you think you're Xing Xiao who earns 100 million a day? No, I should say that even if Xing Xiao earns 100 million a day, he won't do such a stupid thing. I'm not good at solving these things, Tang Yan said straightforwardly. Good my ass. Feng Shanshan cursed. When facing shameless people, it's the easiest to throw them out. Let's not talk about it anymore. I'm going to sleep. I still have to get a master to smash the walls tomorrow. Tear down your room and make it a big workshop. I can also do experiments in it. Why didn't I think of it earlier? Tang Yan watched Feng Shanshan walk out of the study and secretly curled his lips. This was the advantage of having someone to take care of him. Fortunately, Feng Shanshan was a little bad and refused to suffer losses. If it were someone else, he wouldn't care about Shangxin. Of course, if these 2 people met Mu Qiqi, they might end up worse. After all, Xing Xiao was good at scheming behind people's backs. He could always make you die without knowing it. It was almost New Year's Eve. Many people in the circle had already received the news. They knew that Xing Xiao would definitely be in the limelight this time. After all, he was a famous young entrepreneur. But as the news spread, it changed in the ears of some people. For example, Xing Kai and Yi Jingqing. Xing Kai hated Xing Xiao, but Yi Jingqing hated Mu Qiqi even more. Xing Kai could not do anything to Xing Xiao for now, but Yi Jingqing might not. If Xing Xiao attended the state banquet, it meant that his image must be absolutely positive and positive. However, Mu Qiqi was Xing Xiao's wife. She poisoned her own sister. What right did she have to be in this glory? Moreover, if this matter was blown up before New Year's Eve, could Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao still attend the state banquet with a clear conscience? He really wanted to see it. Early in the morning, in the Banyan courtyard, they were discussing the issue of image. Grandpa Shen came to the Banyan courtyard for breakfast and started to lecture Mu Qiqi. Now that Xing Xiao is a famous entrepreneur and he's going to the state banquet, you can't continue to be wild. You have to pay attention to your image and don't drag Xing Xiao down. You are the granddaughter of the Shen family. You have to remember this. Grandpa, don't you know me? Usually, other than going to school, the police station, or accompanying Xiao Xiao to work in Zhongting, I don't even go to the bars that my peers like to go to. Mu Qiqi felt wronged. Well, Qiqi is really a good girl. Mama Xing quickly spoke up for her. I was thinking of having a reunion dinner with everyone on New Year's Eve. But since they are going to the state banquet, let's prepare it on the first day of the new year. I will discuss this matter with Huang Yu, Mama Xing said with a smile. Mu Qiqi probably did not expect that she would be mired in a scandal after promising Grandpa Shen in the morning. Still, Mu Qiqi wasn't a pushover now. At 10 o'clock in the morning, the criminal investigation team received a report about a murder case in the slums. A girl in her 20s was burned into charcoal. Why did the slums come to us to report it? Where's the police in the district? The team members complained helplessly. It's the new year now. There are not many police officers. It's normal for them to be transferred here. Chapter 6:17. The police rushed to the burned house immediately. The body was on the empty ground not far away. Captain Tang, the house was badly burned. After the fire was put out, we searched the house and found these things. The police passed the items they had found to Tang Yen. The student ID of the nursing school and some other things that could prove her identity. But that was not the most important thing. According to the student ID, the girl's name was Mu Tangxue. Everyone was shocked when they saw it. Wasn't this Mu Qiqi's sister? Coincidentally, Feng Shanshan was smashing the wall at home today, and Mu Qiqi was preparing for the state banquet at home. So, it was the senior from the forensics team who went out to the field. Can you confirm her identity? Tang Yen asked the forensic doctor. Based on the degree of burn, we can confirm that the victim is a female between the ages of 18 to 22. As for the rest, we can only tell you after the autopsy. Confirm if the victim is Mu Qiqi's sister as soon as possible, Tang Yen said. It was not easy to deceive him. After all, Yi Jingqing had just returned and was looking for Mu Tangxue. But now Mu Tangxue was dead here? He did not believe that there was no story behind it. As for what the secret was, he would only know after the investigation. If you want to confirm if this is Mu Qiqi's sister, call her back to the lab. I'll do a DNA comparison. Then we'll know, the forensic doctor said. Tang Yen nodded. Then he called Mu Qiqi. Do you have time? Go back to the police station. There's a case in the morning. It's related to you. Mu Qiqi's body stiffened when she heard Tang Yan's words. I'll be there right away. Mu Qiqi was trying on clothes at home. But when she received Tang Yan's call, she did not delay. After all, Tang Yan said that the case was related to her. Mama Sheng drove Mu Qiqi to the police station personally. When Tang Yan saw Mu Qiqi, he said, "We found a burnt body in the slums. It might be your sister." Mu Qiqi's heart skipped a beat. Although she did not believe that Mu Tangxue would be killed, what if it was? That was why she went to the morgue. After all, she was the one who understood Mu Tangxue the most in this world. Looking at the charred corpse lying on the autopsy table, Mu Qiqi's thoughts were immediately pulled back to Su Ziqing's death. It was the same lying on the bed, burnt to a crisp. Qiqi, for accuracy, let's do a DNA comparison first. You can take a look at the body later, the senior from the forensics team told her. Mu Qiqi glanced at the charred corpse and nodded. All right. After collecting the sample, Mu Qiqi returned to the morgue. But when she got close to the corpse, she could clearly feel that it was not Mu Tangxue. No. Tang Yen leaned against the door. Seeing that she had come to a conclusion, he asked, "Evidence?" Although this corpse is very close to our age, she had never given birth. Moreover, even if she was burnt to a crisp, I can be sure that this is not Mu Tangxue with delicate skin and flesh. The joints of the corpse's hands are relatively thick, and the knees are severely damaged. Look at her bones carefully. There are many scars on her limbs and they have been worn over the years. That means that the owner of this corpse has lived in a relatively harsh environment for many years. In her clenched fist, there is only a little skin tissue left to prove that her skin is rough, which does not match Mu Tangxue at all. But she died in the slum house that you prepared for Mu Tangxue, Tang Yin emphasized. No, she wasn't burned to death. We've seen cases of people being burned to death before. The body was charred but it was still lying flat. This can only mean one thing. When the fire started, she was no longer breathing. We can also draw this conclusion from her nose and lungs, Mu Qiqi said. You still don't understand what I mean. Tang Yin looked at Mu Qiqi seriously. Someone set up a trap to lure you. They are targeting you. What you need to know now is the motive of this person. Captain Tang suspects that someone found the corpse and pretended to be Mu Tangxue to cause trouble. It's easy to find out whether they killed someone or stole the corpse. But you have to know what the person behind this is trying to do as soon as possible. You might be able to guess who the person behind this is. After all, he is the only one who wants to contact Mu Tangxue. But I don't have a clue what he wants to do. Mu Qiqi thought about it carefully and answered. This matter does not belong to our jurisdiction. Another team will come and take over soon. Although the informant called us, in principle we have to hand over the case. After all, this is not a special case. I understand, Captain Tang. That's why I asked you to come over for the autopsy. I want you to be mentally prepared. While the two of them were talking, the team in charge of the burnt corpse case had already arrived at the entrance of the police station. Seeing Mu Qiqi, the captain smiled and said, I heard that the person who died is your sister. I've examined the corpse. It's not her. Our forensics team will give me an answer whether it's true or not. We don't need your team to worry about the cases in our jurisdiction. At the same time, Mu Qiqi, you should go back with me and help with the investigation. After all, that house is where your sister used to live, and the things found in it all point to your sister. We've already done a DNA comparison. It will be out soon, the senior from the forensics team interrupted. Then we'll talk about it when it's out. Having said that, he turned around and left. His tone was arrogant and very annoying. It seems that the police there will not give us any face. Not long after Tang Yin finished speaking, Mu Tangxue's case became a hot topic in the afternoon. After all, Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao had always been famous in Jianchuan. Moreover, the matter between her, the Mu family and Mu Tangxue was a hot topic that everyone knew. So, once something happened to Mu Tangxue, the matter immediately started to spread. Her sister's tragic death is related to the grudge of the past. Mu Tangxue's death might be related to her sister. A thought in heaven and a thought in hell. Her sister enjoyed a happy life, but she lost her life. They did not dare to directly mention Xing Xiao's name, but it was not much better. The conspiracy theories and speculations were nothing more than to attract the attention of the public. They wanted to ride on the popularity. In just a short afternoon, Mu Qiqi's case had become a hot topic in the city. Even Feng Shanshan, who was smashing the wall at home, received the news. So she immediately called Mu Qiqi. Is your sister dead? Chapter 618. I don't believe that there's no mastermind behind all this, said Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan said. Moreover, the audience has clearly been led astray. Now, no one cares if the person who died is Mu Tangxue. Because it's about the grudge between you two from the past, and with someone adding fuel to the fire, everyone wants to take the opportunity to mock you. Who asked you to be Xing Xiao's woman? They used to be envious and jealous of you. Now all of them are venting their anger on you. There's no one else but Yi Jingqing. Mu Qiqi chuckled. I'm afraid he's not only trying to find trouble with me. There's another more important reason. He wants to find Mu Tangxue. Is he out of his mind? Feng Shanshan really could not understand Yi Jingqing's thoughts. Maybe he really likes Mu Tangxue, said Mu Qiqi. However, Xing Xiao had not called her yet. She did not know if he had seen the news. Xing Xiao had 3 meetings in the afternoon. However, Su Che had already informed the media in advance to suppress the news. After Xing Xiao's meetings, they would think of a specific strategy. President, Madam is on the news. When the secretary saw Xing Xiao coming out, she quickly passed him the phone. But Special Assistant Su has already informed the media to suppress the news. Now he has gone out to investigate the truth. After Xing Xiao read the news, the corner of his mouth slowly curled up. There was a hint of danger in his smile. Of course, there was also a hint of mockery. Fortunately, Su Che's reaction was fast enough. He did not wait for him to give the order. It was worth praising. It's not enough to just give the media an order. We need to threaten and give them an ultimatum. The state banquet was tomorrow night. But before that, they deliberately arranged such a big show. Was it to stop his little one from attending the banquet? Or was it to threaten him to hand over Mu Tangxue? Thinking of this, Xing Xiao immediately called Mu Qiqi. "Where are you?" "In the police station," answered Mu Qiqi. "Have you seen the news? The body is not Mu Tangxue, right? You know?" Mu Qiqi exclaimed. Then she realized something like this could not be hidden from Xing Xiao's eyes. Someone is deliberately trying to pull me out of the water. Xiao Xiao, Grandpa called me just now. I think he's right. I won't accompany you to the state banquet tomorrow because it's not good for me to show my face. If I agitate the netizens and harm Zhongting, I'll feel very bad. I haven't said anything yet. Stop making decisions, you stinky thing. I'll handle this, Xing Xiao said to Mu Qiqi. If you're involved, then it's very likely that you've been included in the scheme as well. Plotting against me? Xing Xiao's tone was full of mockery. It seems that someone is tired of living. Even if Yi Jingqing did it, he did it very discreetly. It would not be easy to find trouble with him. However, his move was vicious enough. Now that Zhongting was paying attention to a positive image, such a scandal was created because of Mu Qiqi. Should Xing Xiao help her or not? Whatever the image, Xing Xiao's decision to bring Mu Qiqi along had never changed and would never change. Even when secretary he called him and advised him to be careful, he did not change his mind about bringing Mu Qiqi along. Brother, think about it carefully. If you really want to bring sister-in-law to the state banquet, then you have to solve her scandal within a day. Otherwise, if she goes to the state banquet, won't it be a slap to everyone's face? You have to know that such an occasion is not an ordinary banquet. I know. Don't worry. Under the pressure of Zhongting, it should not be difficult to make it disappear from the hot search list. The problem was how to deal with the mastermind behind this, Yi Jingqing. That afternoon, the DNA comparison report was out. The victim was indeed not Mu Tangxue, but the matter was already out of control. This Yi Jingqing is really disgusting. Knowing that Mu Qiqi was in trouble, Feng Shanshan did not even break the wall and went straight to the police station. At this time, Tang Yan said coldly, "You need evidence to speak and do things." Feng Shanshan ignored him and asked Mu Qiqi, "Anyway, have you thought of a solution?" I guess Yi Jingqing must have a bold plan in mind when he made such an arrangement. He thinks that by doing this, the public will misunderstand that the victim is Mu Tangxue. Then we will hand over the real Mu Tangxue to clear the misunderstanding. He always thought that Mu Tangxue is in my hands. Mu Qiqi thought of this possibility. But if he really thinks so, he will lose. Because I really don't know where Mu Tangxue is. You have to pretend that you know even if you don't know. You have to trick that bastard to death. Mu Qiqi smiled. It seems that there is no other way. I can only choose the most direct way, which is to talk to the netizens, although I don't want to be famous at all. No, the victim is not Mu Tangxue. The police will clear this up sooner or later. Why do you need to talk to them? That's because Yi Jingqing knows that tomorrow is an important day. I have to be innocent. Mu Qiqi smiled helplessly. What day is it? The state banquet. Hearing this, Feng Shanshan suddenly realized something. That bastard is really good at calculating. Mu Qiqi did not say anything else. She only greeted the people at the police station and left. Xing Zhao's car was waiting outside. Mu Qiqi was afraid that there would be reporters waiting outside, so she quickly went to open the door. Xing Xiao smiled when he saw her. What are you afraid of? I'm afraid of trouble, said Mu Qiqi. I'm even more afraid of causing trouble for you. You don't have to worry about anything. You just need to attend the banquet with me in your best state tomorrow. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi's waist comfortingly. I've arranged an interview for you tomorrow morning. By then you just need to do what you're best at. Leave Yi Jingqing to me. Does he want to know where Mu Tangxue is? He will never get it in this life, said Xing Xiao, holding Mu Qiqi's head tightly. Will it really not affect your image? Will it make you lose face at the state banquet? The company has a public relations team. Do you think my team is on the same level as Huang Yao? This team is dug out from the entertainment industry. Xing Zhao's tone was relaxed and extremely confident. They know better than you what the bloodthirsty netizens like. As for the other scores, we'll settle them after the state banquet. Mu Chichi looked up at her man's eyes and nodded. Don't worry. I'll cooperate with you tomorrow. If Secretary he really thinks that I'm not suitable to appear at the state banquet, I'll listen to your arrangement. Although I trust you, I won't be disappointed if I can't go. At most, I'll cheer for you on TV. You're quite open-minded. Xing Xiao did not say anything else. He did not need Mu Chichi to know some things. Yi Jingqing thought too highly of himself. Did he think that he could play with him just because he knew how to act? He was really daydreaming. Chapter 619. In fact, Yi Jingqing had found the best team of blackmailers in the entertainment industry. Even if the news was suppressed, it would come back again with another trending topic. His purpose was clear. He wanted to make Mu Chichi suffer. He knew that after the body was found to be not Mu Tongshue's, this matter would be cleared up. It would not be a threat to Xing Xiao to hand over Mu Tongxue. But he had already thought of a countermeasure. Even if Mu Chichi cleared up the matter, he still had other plans. How could he only prepare one script? The news spread like wildfire. In the hospital, even Grandpa Sheng could hear the nurses gossiping. This was one of the reasons why he objected to Mu Chichi and Xing Xiao being together. Her birth would make the people around her suffer a lot of ridicule and humiliation. Xing Xiao would attend the state banquet tomorrow. But Mu Chichi was being harassed by the media at this critical moment. Wasn't she deliberately making things difficult for Xing Xiao? Grandpa Sheng's face darkened the whole night. But when he thought about it carefully, with Xing Xiao's ability, he always got through it safely. It was not his place to worry about it. But when he thought of Mu Chichi's complicated and disgraceful birth, he pouted unhappily. When Sheng Bowen entered the room, he saw Grandpa Sheng's awkward expression. He could guess what was going on. So he smiled. I came from Huangya to see you. I've been busy for the whole day. Don't you feel sorry for me? As long as Mu Chichi's birth is not solved, Xing Xiao will be criticized. Their mouths belong to them. We can't control what they say. But if it gets out of hand, it will be ugly. Most importantly, this matter can be used by people with ulterior motives at any time. Grandpa Sheng was a little helpless. I don't want that girl to be separated from Xing Xiao. I just think that if she can solve this problem, she will not be a burden to Xing Xiao. Grandpa Sheng used the word burden. But he knew very well that even if it was not Mu Chichi, no one would choose their birth. I can't say anything about sister-in-law and her twin sister. After all, I don't know what happened between them. But I believe in sister-in-law and Xing Xiao's judgment. Grandpa Xing thought for a while and finally waved his hand. I'll see how Xing Xiao attends the state banquet tomorrow. For Xing Xiao, if he did not show up at the state banquet with Xiao Qi'er tomorrow, he would have no one to share his joy with. So no matter how others tried to stop him, he would definitely bring the little thing along with him. Still, that did not stop her imagination from running wild. She was afraid that she would embarrass Xing Xiao, afraid that her birth would become a laughingstock for him, which was why she was extremely nervous even in her dreams. This has nothing to do with Xiao Xiao. It has nothing to do with Xiao Xiao. Don't talk nonsense. My mommy is not a bitch. Xing Xiao was woken up by her. He propped himself up and looked at Mu Chichi, who was sweating profusely while having a nightmare. Then he gently caressed her head. When she relaxed, he lifted the blanket, put on a black robe and went to the study. It was only 3 in the morning. He had never thought that going to the state banquet would bring so much pressure to Xiao Qi'er. But it was precisely because of that he would bring her to the banquet regardless of the consequences. Because he wanted to tell others that he did not mind them talking about Qi'er's family background. On the other hand, Yi Jingqing was really tired of living. Did he want to look for Mu Tongxue? It was not that he could not, but he might have to suffer a lot. So, at 3 in the morning, Xing Xiao called Su Che. I have some voice recordings here. Help me find a few voice actors who are good at imitating. I want the results before dawn tomorrow. Receiving the task in the middle of the night, Su Che could only get up from his bed. He knew that Xing Xiao was suppressing the fire in his heart under Yi Jingqing's provocation. If it were in the past, he would have hung Yi Jingqing on the mountain and exposed him to the sun. But after half a year of settling down, he had matured a lot. He would never leave any traces behind because he would not give his enemies any chance to attack him. The next day, Zhongting arranged an interview at 10 in the morning. So Mu Chichi went to the police station to report first. The corpse was stolen and the fire was set on purpose. This case is specially made for you. Feng Shanshan pointed at the corpse and said to Mu Chichi, Tang Yen has brought people to verify the origin of the corpse early in the morning. After all, the corpse is 22 or 23 years old, and it's a fresh corpse. There shouldn't be many people who fit the criteria. Now that you have become the target of public criticism, what is your Xing CEO going to do? I've already arranged an interview to clarify the matter. Mu Qiqi shrugged. Even if you clarify the matter, you won't be able to get rid of the impact this matter has on your image. How are you going to attend the state banquet tonight? My image has never been good, Mu Qiqi said with mixed feelings. My birth, the grudge between Mu Tongxue and me, these are unchangeable facts, especially the fact that Mu Tongxue and I have two different fathers. How can it be good? Feng Shanshan shook her head after hearing that. It's also sad to be a group pet. If your life is too perfect, God will be jealous. Are you going to let Yi Jingqing go just like that? Mu Qiqi shook her head. I'm not a good person. But I'll go to Zhongting for the interview first. Let me know when you get the results. Feng Shanshan nodded. Go ahead. Not only was Mu Qiqi not a good person, but she also held a grudge. Yi Jingqing's bullying when he was young was still before he came back to China and stirred up trouble. But now that he was back, he was still so unscrupulous. Wasn't he looking down on her too much? Will this girl do something worrisome? The professor was a little worried. No, she won't. Feng Shanshan denied it directly. She learned from Xing Xiao. She won't be stupid enough to expose herself. It's stupid to sacrifice herself for some unworthy people. But this is a personal grudge. Let's see how she deals with it. It's a good state banquet. How embarrassing. The person behind this is too wicked. Feng Shanshan did not say anything. She just wanted to see what would happen to Yi Jingqing. It might be okay to provoke Mu Qiqi. Although she wanted to take revenge, Mu Qiqi would not go too far. But Xing Xiao was different. Yi Jingqing was stepping on Xing Xiao's bottom line. Chapter 620. At 9 o'clock in the morning, Xing Xiao received another call from Secretary He in his office in Zhongting. Brother, are you still planning to bring sister-in-law to the banquet? You have to know that your image is related to everyone's image. It's not that I don't like sister-in-law, but it's not suitable for her to appear at the banquet at this moment. Secretary He, when Xing Xiao was about to answer, Mu Qiqi took the phone away from him. Don't worry, Secretary He. I won't go. I know the big picture. Xing Xiao frowned. But Mu Qiqi smiled. Don't let yourself decide everything. You should ask for my opinion first. Xing Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi without saying a word. Mu Qiqi continued, I can't change my background. I can't change the fact that I have two fathers. Although I don't want to admit it, the world is full of gossip. Xiao, it's not bad to be more mature. Even if I go up tonight, I won't have the confidence because I'll always be under the protection of your wings. I don't have the confidence to argue with others, so can you just give me a break? Xing Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi for a long time. Suddenly, he put his arm around her neck and pulled her closer to him. Do you know what you're saying? Of course I know, Mu Qiqi replied. Don't let me go to such a banquet with a guilty conscience. I'll feel uncomfortable. When I'm sure that I have the ability to appear with you, not to mention one Yi Jingqing, even 10 Yi Jingqing won't be able to stop me. Little one, don't say such discouraging words. The interview hasn't started yet. How can you be so sure that you don't have the confidence? In my heart, you've always been many times better than those rich young ladies who only know how to put on airs. Why do you have so little confidence in yourself? Because I don't want you to disappoint your teammates who are on the same side with you because of me. So, you're saying that you don't believe that I can handle your image well? They had been together for more than 2 years, and in those 2 years, they had never had a disagreement over such an issue. Of course, Xing Xiao had to admit that his little one had always listened to his arrangements and trusted him wholeheartedly. You know that's not what I mean. I just want to protect you. We've been together for so long and we even wear wedding rings, but I've never done anything for you. Xing Xiao said nothing, but he could feel that the little one's wings were getting stronger. He had already begun to have his own ideas, and he was determined to stick to them. President, the interview is about to begin. Outside the door, the secretary didn't know that the two were arguing, so she knocked on the door to remind him. Xing Xiao withdrew his gaze and answered in a low voice, I understand. I'll go do the interview first. Mu Qiqi turned around, but after a few steps she turned back and hugged Xing Xiao tightly. Don't look so pitiful, okay? My heart will ache. Xing Xiao sneered. I just want to strip you naked and spank your ass. Wait for my interview? Having said that, Mu Qiqi walked out of Xing Xiao's office and followed behind the secretary. What could Xing Xiao do? Of course he followed her out. The interview was held in the VIP room of Zhongting, and it was in the form of a live broadcast. There were live broadcast platforms everywhere now so that the information could directly satisfy the psychological needs of the audience. Mu Qiqi simply touched up her makeup and sat down in front of the camera. The person interviewing her was Fong Lan, the columnist of the best news media in the country. She was very easygoing and it was obvious that she was very cultured. Miss Mu, you can start now. Just make an OK gesture. It's a live broadcast today so you don't have to be nervous. Just answer the questions truthfully. Mu Qiqi nodded and made an OK gesture. Fong Lan quickly got into the mood, faced the camera and said her opening remarks. This is Real Person Chronicle. Welcome to our live interview. I'm Fong Lan. Since yesterday there's a person. She's not a media figure but she's at the top of the hot search list. She's not an entertainment star either but she's a hot topic. Today we're interviewing the person involved in this matter, Miss Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi looked at the camera and greeted the audience. Then the questions we're going to ask today are relatively sharp. If you encounter any questions that you don't want to answer, you can just say it. Mu Qiqi nodded. First of all, we want to know, is the body found yesterday morning your sister? No, Mu Qiqi replied immediately. It's confirmed that it's not. I'm sorry, but it's not convenient for me to reveal the details. I understand. After all, it's related to the case. Then let's talk about the story of you and your sister. I believe you've seen the topics outside, haven't you? Mu Qiqi thought about it and nodded again. Yes, it's hard not to see. What do you think about the topic of you enjoying life while your sister is suffering? I don't really see it. I just don't understand. Did the netizens lose their memories? First of all, my sister killed my grandmother and framed me for it. She stole my college entrance examination results and indirectly killed our mother. Why shouldn't she suffer? Should she still be enjoying life? Mu Qiqi answered naturally. I want to ask a sharper question. What do you think about the fact that you and your sister have two fathers? Mu Qiqi looked at the reporter. She really knew how to ask the most explosive questions. To be honest, I've thought about running away because I know that this matter might bring ridicule and hurt to the people around me. But it's not something I can choose. What can I think about it? In this world, the last thing a person can choose is their family background. I've told myself that I have a good family, a husband who loves me and friends who support me. My life is very complete, so I don't need to care about these malicious mockery. However, when it's set out in the open, I can't just ignore it. But what did I do wrong? Are you afraid? Fong Lan asked again seriously. Afraid? Mu Qiqi was stunned for a few seconds. Then she said, the body is not my sister's, but the news has spread to every household. It's as if I've become a murderer overnight. Are you asking me if I'm afraid? I'm not afraid. Why should I be afraid? If I'm afraid, won't the person who wants to destroy me get what he wants? Chapter 621. Miss Mu, do you mean that this is a trap? Fong Lan asked, catching on to the main point in her words. Miss Fong, think about it carefully. My sister's body was found disguised as my sister's body in her house. Then they bypassed the police station at the scene of the crime and reported it to the crime squad that I'm in. Then, an overwhelming amount of scandals came one after another. Doesn't this seem like a meticulous plan? I'm guessing that if I were to be interviewed by a live broadcast, the conclusion that I'm suffering from persecutory delusions would come out soon. Fong Lan thought about it carefully and smiled. Speaking of which, it seems to make some sense. Isn't everyone concerned about who disguised my sister with a corpse? Isn't everyone concerned about the case itself? What happened between me and my sister is old news. What's so fresh about it? Most importantly, the person behind this must hide well and not let me find out. You're committing a crime and the law will let you know how to behave. That seemed to be the case. Who was the one who disguised Mu Tongxue? Who was the one who died? And who was the mastermind behind all this? That was the question that the spectators should be paying attention to. I'm ashamed. I'm just a forensic assistant now, but I've been fortunate enough to be involved in many cases. Our job is to comfort the dead, or in other words, to provide clues for the culprit. I've learned a lot in the police station and seen a lot of dark and negative things. I thought that my job would at least earn me a little respect from others, so as to eliminate the negative influence of my background. But I realized that the netizens like to watch a drama. It has nothing to do with a person's identity or profession, and they don't care what you've done behind the scenes. Are you disappointed? Fong Lan asked in return. A little. I still hope that there's more sunlight out there. Then do you regret choosing to be a forensic doctor? In the last case, an old couple in their 60s lost their only son. What's important is that their child was a hard-working young man who lost his precious life because of a very daily conflict. When we saw the old couple, it was very sad. At that time, it was the only thing we could do for them when we thought of our own identities and gave them an explanation. I don't regret my choice, but I also hope that the outside world won't deny me because of something I can't choose. That would make me very sad. Feng Lan was very sure that Mu Qiqi's words were meant to divert the audience's attention. In fact, the effect was not bad, because the questions she threw out were very interesting. Her last sentence was obviously putting the conscience of the netizens who were watching the show on the grill. He even attacked someone who was trying his best to seek justice for the dead. Did he even have a heart? It reminded them of the time when Mu Qiqi was investigating the murder case of Gu Ziling's uncle's ex-wife. She had braved the terrible weather to investigate the crime scene. How did a 20-year-old girl who was running around in order to become a forensic doctor end up provoking a mob on the internet? If Mu Qiqi was an ignorant and incompetent rich second generation, it would be fine. But now that she said that, I really can't bear it. How much courage does it take for a girl to become a forensic doctor? She was trying to seek justice for the dead while the netizens stabbed her in the back. I really hope that when those people commit crimes in the future, they will encounter Mu Qiqi's autopsy. Different voices began to appear on the internet. The people in the police station were also watching Mu Qiqi's interview live. After listening to Mu Qiqi's words, Feng Shanshan could not help but say to the professor, "Captain Tang will be very busy from now on. The chief will definitely give him a deadline to solve the case." Then Tang Yen led the team back to the police station. "We found the source of the body." On Mu Qiqi's side, the interview was still going on. However, the topic had shifted to why she did not walk the path of a socialite but resolutely chose to become a forensic doctor. Of course, this was also part of the reason why the public's attention was diverted. Because many people misunderstood you because they did not understand you. More importantly, when Mu Qiqi was being interviewed, if there were a lot of hate posts appearing on the internet, her IP address would definitely be exposed. Coincidentally, there was indeed a group of people who were like disgusting maggots, hiding in the dark and doing disgusting things. However, this group of people was soon targeted by the police station. Since someone deliberately disguised Mu Tongshua's body and hired the internet water army to smear Mu Qiqi's name, it meant that there was a close relationship between the two. If they could find this group of haters, they might be able to find the person who stole the body. At the end of Mu Qiqi's interview, the public's opinion had changed. If someone dared to smear the people's forensic doctor again, he would not be a human but a piece of trash. After Yi Jingqing saw Mu Qiqi's interview, he smashed his computer. What selfless forensic doctor. She was just AB*TCH who poisoned her sister. However, when he wanted to contact the Black Gang, the police had already located them. At the same time, an unfamiliar number was dialed in his phone. Yi Jingqing looked at the blinking number and had a hunch. So he quickly picked up the call. "Brother Jingqing, save me." When Yi Jingqing heard the voice, he immediately stood up from the sofa. "Tongshua? Is that Tongshua? Xing Zhao's people are chasing me. Come and save me. I'm so scared." When he heard Mu Tongshua's voice, Yi Jingqing completely lost himself. He was in a mess. How could he still care about Mu Qiqi now? He only wanted to find Mu Tongshua now. But he did not know that Xing Zhao had asked someone to imitate Mu Tongshua's voice to make the call. He deliberately made Yi Jingqing panic. Now the game was in Xing Zhao's hands. Save Mu Tongshua? Slowly. There was no need to rush. As for Mu Qiqi, Feng Shanshan had speculated that it would be difficult for Mu Qiqi to clear up the hatred the public had for her. After all, many people were prejudiced by their first impression. However, after watching the whole live broadcast, Feng Shanshan had to admit that Xing Zhao's public relations team was really good, or Mu Qiqi was just pretending to be weak. Her speech about believing in the police and forensic doctors was really full of positive energy. It taught the netizens how to behave. All in all, now everyone felt that slandering an upright forensic doctor like Mu Qiqi was no different from a murderer. Xing Zhao did not control Mu Qiqi's speech from the beginning to the end. He let her do whatever she wanted because he knew that this little one was up to no good. And the fact proved that he was right. Why couldn't she attend the state banquet tonight after her brainwashing speech? Chapter 622. Yi Jingqing, on the other hand, was very anxious after he received Mu Tongshua's call. He did not know where to find Mu Tongxue, and he did not know if Mu Tongxue would call him again. Or perhaps he was afraid that Mu Tongxue would be caught by Xing Xiao. Of course, since this was a good show arranged by Xing Xiao, Mu Tongxue would certainly call him again. But he was not in the mood to talk to Mu Qiqi anymore. He did not care if Mu Qiqi had cleared up the rumors or not. After half an hour of the interview, Mu Qiqi was completely different before and after the interview. When she got off the interview, she felt relieved. No matter what the result was, she had done her best. Xing Xiao hooked his finger at her from behind the staff. Mu Qiqi ran over and hugged Xing Xiao's waist naturally. Was my performance just now okay? Show her the comments on the internet. Xing Xiao turned and ordered his secretary. The secretary nodded with a smile and passed the phone to her. Madam, it was a success. I have racked my brains to direct the public's attention to my identity as a forensic doctor. But I have to work harder in the future to be worthy of my profession. Mu Qiqi returned the phone to the secretary. What about Yi Jingqing? Is there anything else he can do? He has no time to deal with you now. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi. They walked out of the VIP room and returned to Xing Xiao's office. What do you mean? Mu Tongxue called him. He is thinking about how to get news about Mu Tongxue now. Xing Xiao sneered. Mu Qiqi thought that her man would not let Yi Jingqing find Mu Tongxue's whereabouts so easily. There must be something fishy about it. Aren't you curious? Did Mu Tongxue really appear? She must be fake. Mu Qiqi patted her chest confidently. I know my man very well. He will not let Yi Jingqing get away with it so easily. I have found him a top-notch dubber. Xing Xiao's voice was cold and dangerous. It will take at least a year and a half to find her from my hands. Mu Qiqi laughed when she heard that. You're the best. After lunch with me, go home and try on some clothes while waiting for me. I want to see what kind of negative consequences will occur if I bring you to the state banquet. Mu Qiqi looked at him and knew that he was not joking. So she nodded. Even so, I still have to show my attitude. If I'm not suitable to appear in the state banquet, I won't go. You're just trying to undermine me. Xing Xiao did not say anything else. He only scolded her affectionately. Mu Qiqi laughed but soon received a call from Feng Shanshan. The source of the corpse has been found. The people who framed you are also at the police station. Aren't you coming back at such an exciting moment? Mu Qiqi glanced at him and asked for his permission. I know the state banquet starts at 7. I'll be home before 3. Is my opinion important? Of course it's important. Mu Qiqi smiled coquettishly. You still listen to me? Xing Xiao obviously did not believe her. The little one had hardened her wings and became arrogant. I must listen. You said it yourself. 3 o'clock. Xing Xiao finally relented. Although the little one had clarified the matter in the interview and brainwashed the netizens, the matter still needed to be dealt with. Mu Qiqi hugged Xing Xiao's waist again reluctantly and rubbed against his chest. Don't be afraid that I'll grow up. Even if I grow up, you'll always be the first, understand? Having said that, Mu Qiqi waved the wedding ring on her finger. Xing Xiao did not stop her. Of course, he knew in his heart that the little one was no longer the Mu Qiqi of the past. However, it would be very inconvenient for her to wear a diamond ring as a forensic doctor. Thinking of that, Xing Xiao made a mental note to make a special necklace for the little one. After Mu Qiqi left Zhongting, she went straight to the police station. At the moment, Tang Yin was interrogating the group of professional haters. What's the situation now? The stolen corpse is also from the slums. It's a woman who was the mistress of Big Brother. Her name is Song Qiao. She was dug up just a few days after she was buried. Poor thing. Feng Shanshan answered Mu Qiqi's question. The person who stole the corpse hasn't been found yet. It's not easy to find any clues. As for those haters, they still refuse to admit that they took the money. They only said that they hated you, so they were so agitated. It seems like they would rather be detained for 7 days. Tang Yin has already arranged for someone to check if there's any big income in their bank accounts recently. Someone deliberately set this up. Of course, they've thought about it carefully. Besides, we all know the punishment for stealing a corpse. For those people in the slums, a few months in jail in exchange for a change in their lives. Of course they're willing to do it, Mu Qiqi said hatefully. It seems like someone is going against me. Is there any news from your CEO? How could there be no news? When Mu Qiqi was about to answer, her phone rang. Mu Qiqi looked at the phone number and picked it up. I'm Mu Qiqi. Qiqi, let's meet. Yi Jingqing sounded a little complicated on the other end of the phone. How is it? Are you willing to meet me? Thinking of this, Mu Chichi was too lazy to think about how Yi Jingqing got her number. She said, "You don't have to go anywhere. I'll go to Yi Mansion to look for you. Then I'll wait for you." "Are you crazy? Are you going to meet Yi Jingqing alone?" Mu Chichi looked at Feng Shanshan and couldn't help but laugh. "Who said I'm alone? Don't I still have you and Captain Tang?" Feng Shanshan said, "Why do you think I'll go?" "Because you're worried about me." Mu Chichi exposed her. "When Captain Tang's interrogation is over, I'll go and tell him." Feng Shanshan didn't say anything. As for whether Tang Yen was willing or not, it would depend on his answer. However, Feng Shanshan didn't expect that Tang Yen would agree immediately. "When are we leaving?" "It won't take up much of Captain Tang's time." "We'll leave now," said Mu Chichi. Feng Shanshan didn't know what Tang Yen was thinking, but she seemed to be able to guess what was going on in his mind. He was definitely not just accompanying Mu Chichi to meet someone. And why did Mu Chichi need Tang Yen? It was not only because of his skills, but also because of his meticulous mind. In this regard, because of his profession, Mu Chichi felt that his mind was completely on par with Xing Zhao's. He might be able to get a lot of useful information. Chapter 623. The three of them did not speak along the way. Tang Yen drove them straight to Yi Mansion. When the butler saw them, he immediately said to Mu Chichi, "Miss Chichi, young master is waiting for you in the living room." This butler had been in Yi Mansion for many years. Mu Chichi had seen him many times. But just like how she saw Yi Jingqing, Mu Chichi did not have a good impression of him. Mu Chichi brought Tang Yen and Feng Shanshan through the iron gate of Yi Mansion. Although she was familiar with this place, she would rather not know anyone from the Yi family. The three of them entered the living room. At this time Yi Jingqing was pacing back and forth anxiously. When he saw Mu Chichi, he seemed to see hope. He went forward and grabbed Mu Chichi's arm. "Chichi, you are Tangshua's sister. Can't you let her go?" "You wanted to see me just to say this?" Mu Chichi asked Yi Jingqing. Yi Jingqing regained his senses and saw Tang Yen and Feng Shanshan behind Mu Chichi. "You even brought Captain Tang here. Do you mind if I look around at home?" Tang Yen took the opportunity to ask Yi Jingqing. "Captain Tang, do as you wish." Then he dragged Mu Chichi to his swimming pool and sat on the reclining chair beside the pool. "Are you afraid that I will hurt you?" "Even if you don't want to hurt me, you have already made a big fuss." "Of course I will guard against you," said Mu Chichi. It was in this swimming pool, in this position, that he and Mu Tangxue had pressed her under the water and did not treat her as a human being. And today it was in this swimming pool again. "Chichi, tell me where Tangxue is. As long as you tell me the news, I swear that I will never go against you or frame you again." Yi Jingqing raised his hand and promised. "Not only that, I will clarify everything. As long as you tell me where Tangxue is." "Do you think I need your clarification?" Mu Chichi curled her lips coldly and said, "You should keep your scheme for yourself. Anyway, I will find evidence one day." "Chichi, why are you so stubborn?" Yi Jingqing was anxious. "Look, you are Tangshua's sister. How can you control your sister's freedom forever? Don't you think so? Do you still remember this swimming pool?" Mu Chichi asked Yi Jingqing. "I'm talking to you about Tangxue now. Do you still remember when you pressed me into this pool to teach Tangxue to swim?" Mu Chichi pointed at the swimming pool and asked Yi Jingqing, "I'm telling you about Mu Tangxue too." Yi Jingqing looked at the pond and then at Mu Chichi. He couldn't control his emotions. "Tell me where Tangxue is first." "Why should I tell you? Who do you think you are?" Mu Chichi shouted, "Let me tell you, Yi Jingqing. We will settle old scores and new scores." "Why are you so vicious that you have to hide your sister?" Mu asked. "Tangshin to Tang Tangxue not. Shao not. Mu Tangxue. Not." Yi Jingqing quickly stood up, but Mu Chichi pushed him into the pool. Then Mu Chichi squatted beside the pool and said, "You want to know where Mu Tangxue is? In your next life. You can hurt me all you want. But Yi Jingqing, let me tell you. The more you do this, the more I won't let you see Mu Tangxue. Kill me if you dare. Of course you will never see Mu Tangxue again. I'll take this as revenge for you pressing me into the water when we were young. However, I still remember how you hired people to slander me. I'll let you taste the price you have to pay for hurting me. Since you know I'm vicious, don't provoke me to do something more vicious. Otherwise, Mu Tangxue will suffer 100 times more for me. Do you think you can still do whatever you want to me like before?" Mu Chichi looked at Yi Jingqing in the water. Her eyes were sharp and firm. The person in front of her was no longer the little girl who was always bullied. Try touching a single hair of mine again. Yi Jingqing was shivering in the water. But somehow he forgot how to speak under Mu Qiqi's threat. Then the butler came to the pool and said to Yi Jingqing, "Young master, I'll pull you up. You wanted to see me, so I'm here. If there's nothing else, I'm leaving. After all, I have to attend the state banquet tonight. This is a height that your little lover, Mu Tangxue, can never reach in her life." Yi Jingqing walked toward the pool slowly. Then, with the butler's help, he returned to the shore. "Young master, I'll get you a towel. Mu Qiqi, if Tangxue is hurt, you will never live a peaceful day in this life." "That depends on your ability," Mu Qiqi said meaningfully and turned around. Tang Yin and Feng Shanshan were behind her. "Are you done talking?" "Yes," Mu Qiqi answered as she walked. "It's almost 3 o'clock. I have to go home to prepare for the state banquet tonight. After all, I can't disappoint them. Oh, Captain Tang, I suddenly remembered something. When I came to Yi Mansion when I was young, I saw an interesting scene. But let's talk about it when we get back to the police station." "What are you keeping us in suspense again?" Feng Shanshan asked her softly. "When I was young, I accidentally overheard Papa Mu and Uncle Ye's conversation. I think Yi Holdings might be involved in tax evasion. Are you making it up to take revenge on Yi Jingqing?" "I just remembered it. Let's report it and see if we can find anything." Mu Qiqi sounded very serious. "Moreover, I seriously suspect that Yi Jingqing is crazy. He's really stubborn about your sister. He's completely unreasonable." Feng Shanshan sighed. "If you really offend such a person, you'll be in big trouble. You can't get rid of him even if you want to." "Then I won't get rid of him," said Mu Qiqi. "I want him to know that even if he tries to stop me, I'll live 100 times better than Mu Tangxue." "What if he threatens your safety?" Mu Qiqi suddenly remembered what Yi Jingqing said. Mu Tangxue was so kind. Kind? Now, I really hope that I can find Mu Tangxue and destroy Yi Jingqing's fantasy. What Yi Jingqing liked was Mu Tangshue's innocent look. In his heart, she was like a porcelain doll that would break with a touch. So, he tried his best to protect Mu Tangxue. He thought that Mu Qiqi was vicious and threatened Mu Tangshue's safety. However, he was completely wrong. Yi Jingqing couldn't forget their childhood together. But he had never lived with Mu Tangxue. Mu Qiqi was sure that if Yi Jingqing got what he wanted, he would know how blind he was in the past. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.